Oh, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blickety black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blickety black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, the black, black, the black, the black, the black, because I'm back and I'm black. You know, I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blickety black, and I'm black, y'all. You know, it's February, so I gotta start with that. What's going on, people? We are gonna be talking about FGC locals, being a part of a local. The pros and cons of being part of a local. And while I do that, I figured I would just get some endings for this game, because I thought I had all the endings, and it turns out I don't. We still need Aaron Black, Frost, Fujin, Jax, Joker, Cabal, Kano, Kitana, Collector, Kotal Khan, Kung Lao. I swore I had the Kung Lao ending, but I guess not. Melina, Nightwolf, Raiden, Rain, Rambo, Robocop. We got a lot, actually. Shao Kahn, Sonya. And it looks like that's it. And the beat goes on. But the beat goes on. And the beat goes on. We know, Shinfitz, we know. Respect you for being black. And I'm blickety black, and I'm black, y'all. Okay, I guess who should I do first? Let's just go ahead and go in order. Let's do Aaron Black. While I wait, because I'm going to be having someone on with me, but while we're waiting, let me just go ahead and do, I guess, Classic Towers. I swore I did a Classic Tower with Kung Lao and got his ending, but why did it not save? That's so weird. Alright, let's do Kung Lao. We're gonna go very easy, you guys. I'm just trying to zoom through this as quickly as possible. But why no UI Yamcha? Because Yamcha can't do UI. That's why. Yamcha, as much as I like Yamcha, he's a jabroni.
You face the greatest Lin Kuei.
You face the greatest Shaolin.
I spit on the Shaolin.
Oh,
Round
jeez.
one, fight.
Oh, I was like, why is she not hitting me? Okay. Ooh. Oh no, that's not. Oh, there we go. Can I control this? Oh, I guess not. Water Vegeta. No.
Round
No
two,
to Water Vegeta.
fight.
What am I now? Oh, hold on. It looks like. Hold on. Let me see if this is ready. How do I do this? Also, how dare you time me last night? You streamed. You mean at the very end? When you kept spamming? Of course I'm going to time you. Okay. How do we do this? 1 second, you guys. Yo, what's up? Really? I don't know why that might be. Maybe. Most likely. Most likely. Indeed. I am, yep. Yeah, yeah. I got it. It's live, but you're coming in. I just didn't unmute you, but I will unmute you right now if you're ready. What did I even spam? You know, don't play like that, Secret. I'm saying Secret is over here acting like a Rudy Poo. But anyway, so I got Vlad on, and we're here talking about what I would call a FGC local. Before we even knew kind of what FGC locals were, and their impact on us. So, are you there, Vlad?
I sure am. And you know who else should be there for you?
Who else should be there?
Chat hitting that like button.
You
Y'all
are
slacking.
Such a jabroni. But I appreciate it. Yes, hit the chat button. Vlad, you are Yamcha. No, don't get timed, sir. Don't get timed.
This man is unsatisfied with the fact that I've already blocked him on Discord. He's asking to get blocked in the stream as well.
That is hilarious. So, you know, if I were to peg you as a certain type of gamer, a fighting game player would not be the one that I would associate with you. How exactly did you get into going to Tommy's house? So we were both a part of, we both went to this guy's house named Tommy and just played video games with a bunch of people. And I would consider that locals. How did you end up going there?
Oh man, if I had to think back to the first time, I want to say it was we were closing out the day at a comp connection or a local food store, and I'm almost willing to bet money that I simply just walked with like you and Hans and like probably a half a dozen other people over to his house, since he was maybe like, I don't know, like 3 blocks away or something. Wasn't that far.
Yeah.
You know, depending on how you want to quantify a block, I guess. But he was like the neighborhood, like right around the corner. So, so I'd say that was kind of my first experience with heading to his place. I think that first night we probably played Melee, if I had to take a guess. That was the game that was usually on the TV. If it wasn't like some flavor of the month random fighter, gotta say. But yeah, I'd say that was probably my experience. It's just like with a bunch of people that I like hanging out with, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go hang out at this dude's place. Do you want to come?"
I see. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of how I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Being able to go to Tommy's house, like the idea of Tommy's house kind of grew. It was just like, hey, come to this guy's house. I feel like he had very lax parents, because there's no way in hell my parents would be okay with that many people coming in and out of the house. But
yeah, and like, to be clear, right? Like, we weren't all playing fighting games. Like, on any given night, there was probably a solid like 9 or 12 people inside that little living room.
There was a lot of
slash
people
kitchen
in there.
area.
Yes.
With like some number of us on rotation on whatever, fighting game was on the screen. And then like some number of us were like also like playing Magic in the corner or something.
Yep.
And then like a couple other people were like chatting by the computer, you know.
It was very active.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I wish I knew more about Mortal Kombat because then I could have said like very active, like so and so's frames on that forward kick. Like what the heck? Unfortunately, you were not getting beat up, or doing the beating up, I guess. So yeah, I'd say that like it was a pretty. There was a lot of through traffic for sure, and I'd say that like for me, it was definitely like my first like. I had played fighting games before, but it was the first time I was ever actually like interested in getting better at them. Because like even though I never got like good, like real good, right? I never beat Tommy, right? The best I ever did was I took 2 stocks off him in a 4-stock match, and like, given that he was probably like arguably the best Ganondorf player in the country at the time, I'd say that was pretty good. Enough to hold my own for sure, but with like randos at like Brad's or something. But I would definitely consider myself among the weaker players in the building on any given night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would say that. I think like shoot, I forget what his name is. I don't remember. I would definitely say that there were. I would say you were maybe probably middle of the road at worst. I wouldn't say that you were at the bottom. There was a lot of people that came through that house, but the fact that again, I would not have labeled you as a fighting game player, but the fact that you went to Tommy's house as often as you did, and it really felt like you were getting better, like trying to get better with like learning wave dashing and stuff like that. I remember you went through a kick with Luigi, like wave dashing Luigi.
Yeah, I forced myself how to learn. In fact, I don't even know if you know this or not, but like I literally bought a GameCube in Super Smash Bros. Melee to do this.
Oh, really? You didn't have one prior to that, to going to Tommy's house?
No.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, literally like got a GameCube for the specific reason of like I need to like be able to practice this game because like just playing every third match or whatever, every fourth match isn't going to cut it. And I want to get better. And that's the thing is that like with the right people around you, it doesn't even matter if you're like doing well. It can be fun regardless. But also I have a competitive streak, kind of always have, and so like I don't like doing poorly. At the time, I'd consider myself a little bit of a sore loser. And so that we'll just leave it at that.
Oh my gosh! Secret said that he lost his GameCube. Do you still have your GameCube?
Do I still?
Do
have
you
my
still have your
GameCube?
GameCube, Vlad?
I don't.
Did you get rid of it or did you lose it as well?
I want to say it was in a closet that was flooded out during one of our hurricanes years and years and years ago. Along with a bunch of other stuff. I'm fairly certain it got destroyed at some point due to water damage and just has... It was probably saved in like a storage unit or something, but then eventually just made its way to the bin because it wasn't working. I find that most of my consoles don't really last all that long, as it turns out. I know some people like hold on to them until, like to this day, right? There are people who still own their their original Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I still had mine. All of my old games got stolen, so I had my GameCube that was still... In fact, I had 2 GameCubes. One was still working, and one, the laser would not read a disc anymore. It was so old. It was like a day 1 GameCube.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, I wish I still had that, but I no longer have my cube either.
Yeah, it's a bummer, too. Because I remember you telling me when you lost it. It was tragic stuff.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, but like, there's a reason that I want to like talk to you about this today. I recently sent you a clip of Max Dude, the prolific fighting game YouTuber. Yeah. Whose content I do watch from time to time. There's here's the thing, right? Like I'm not like a fighting game player really, but there's a few fighting games that I do enjoy and I did enjoy. And so I do like watch content about it. And there's some content creators that like I watch that I like them, and so like it doesn't really matter what they're playing.
Right.
I'll tune in and check it out. So like like you, for instance, like I'm not like
You're
a
biased,
huge MK
but
fan.
thank you.
Well, like I'm not a huge MK fan. I'm here for the personality, right? That's
Right.
attached to the stream. Lotus Asakura, I watch, from time to time. Even though I mostly started watching him when he was doing like Dragon Ball Fighters, but nowadays he does like Tekken and some other stuff, like sneaker reviews occasionally. So, like stuff that I don't really care about, but like I like him, so I watch his stuff.
Right.
And Max Dude. So this clip came across where he was talking about the wall, right? And we're not talking Game of Thrones here. We're talking like basically like the point in the skill, like in your skill curve, right? Of like learning a game, where you eventually hit a wall where like you're doing this stuff the way that he describes it. You're doing all the good combos, you know how to play the game, but like for whatever reason you just can't you can't convert that into more wins. You're still struggling.
Okay.
And his explanation of that experience at the time was like, yeah, like that's the point where you have to, there isn't really like a shortcut. There isn't like you're missing something. You just need to get the reps in to where like the muscle memory becomes cleaner and your like understanding of like, the frame data becomes more inherent and more like, kind of innate, right? And like that there isn't really a substitute for that. You're going to lose a lot in the process in order to like reach that level of like effectiveness basically. But like that's the difference between like your random guy who's like a really strong really, I don't even know, like a really strong Kung Lao player or whatever, and like your Sonic Foxes who can like pick up this game and just completely crush it.
Right.
So like to me, like I was thinking about that experience, right, of like what it's like to like lose over and over again, and I really related it to my experience like playing Dragon. Jesus Christ, this is such a brutal fucking
Yeah,
finish.
I was just about to switch off of that. I completely forgot that's how the ladder ends. But anyway, continue.
Oh man. So like I was remembering my experience playing Dragon Ball Fighters, right? And that was a game that like I spent a fair bit of time, being playing and getting good at. Again, I wouldn't like consider myself great, but like I consumed a lot of content for Fighters, far more than I had like most other fighting games in general. And despite the fact that I played a ton of Melee, like I don't really consume Melee content like that. And like Fighters to this day is the game, like the fighting game that I watch the most of, despite the fact that it's ancient at this point. And I thought to myself, like, why is it that like when I play Fighters, I can get engaged, but like hit a point in ladder where I was like, I'm just hard stuck at this rank and just cannot force myself to play past it, to the point where like I drop the game, I stop playing it, right? Comparative to my experience of playing Melee, where I hit like middle of the pack, as you said, and still could never win right, against our better players.
Okay.
And I was trying to think back to like what was the defining difference, and like it's the people around me. Like I had that realization that's the people around me,
What do you mean?
Because so like if I'm playing you in a fighting game, right, and we're chumming it up, we're hanging with the boys, and you whip my ass, right? We all can have a laugh about it together, right?
Okay.
Like if I'm doing okay in the middle of the match, I can smack talk you in the middle. I might be able to like work on your mental game. Like there's that like in-person camaraderie, that energy that you can't really replicate in like just running ranked matches.
100%.
Running ranked ladder. It's not the same. I
It
can't
isn't.
trash talk the dude on the other side. I mean, I can, but he won't hear me. And if he can't hear me, then what's the point, right?
Also, I feel like
So-
it's much more antagonistic online because it's like a faceless person who's teabagging you and like it's not a person who, yeah, you're talking trash to, but afterwards they'll tell you, I mean, if
They're
you
not
do
your
this,
friend.
you can do better.
straight up, they're not your friend.
They're not your friend, exactly. Also,
Right.
before you continue, because this jabroni gave me $1 to ask you. I'm sure you know what it is, but he gave me $1, so I'm going to ask.
He gave you $2.
He gave me
Almost.
$2. Oh, so you see it.
Oh yeah, I have chat open. And believe me, I've been seeing the secrets spam the whole time. I've been ignoring it on purpose.
Okay. So, okay, continue.
All right, no. So he can ask, right? Like, if I like water Vegeta.
Do you
right?
like
And this is
water
very
Vegeta?
So this is a really important question. I'm really glad that you asked. You see, when I think of water Vegeta, I think of two components, right? I think of water and I think of Vegeta. And at first, neither of these two things seem like they go together.
They
One of
don't.
them is a refreshing beverage. The other one is Vegeta. So, do I like water Vegeta? I think that if I had a polymerization card in real life, I would not utilize them on water and Vegeta at the same time. I would combine water with something else, or I would combine Vegeta with something else.
I like
because
that.
the one thing that these two things have in common is that they are far, far better when they are complementing something else.
Agreed.
Water is significantly better when you complement it with a nice meal. Vegeta is far better when he is fused with Goku.
I agree. You know, every time he says water Vegeta, you know what I instantly think of is
After you accept that you've died a little bit on the inside.
yeah, a little bit of my core dies a little bit, but I instantly think of like Pokemon, like Vegeta is a Pokemon, like a Delta species. Like instead of regular Vegeta, it's water Vegeta.
Secret, it's not that I don't like you. It's that I don't like spam.
Oh yeah, the spam is terrible.
Like,
If
I have
he
nothing
wouldn't
against you.
spam,
I
it
think
would
you're
it would
nice.
actually be hilarious if he didn't just spam it over and over again.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so anyway,
Or
enough
like
of that.
work on new content, I guess. But hear that? You gotta improve your anime references, right? Like if you were like saying like fucking like water free rent or something, okay, maybe we could have a conversation.
Okay.
You know, if you were talking about like contemporary anime, good stuff, you know. But instead you're talking about you know, Toei slop that they created decades ago at this point.
Slop. Which is funny. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that perhaps you've kind of come a ways because didn't you at first really like Super? Like, weren't you?
I do
like,
still like Super.
like writing for Super. Oh, okay.
I do still like Super. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm giving him a hard time specifically because I know that he's not watched enough anime.
Okay.
Like, I don't actually like hate Vegeta or Yamcha or Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super. I have complaints about how they handled the story,
Indeed.
but I also don't expect high level writing from Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So like I just kind of accept it for like the vibes of a story as opposed to like having an actual story get told to me. And so like when I decided that I started consuming it as like a junk food guilty pleasure, I felt a lot better about it. In the same way that like one feels about like eating potato chips, right? Like I'll watch like, you know, I'll enjoy some potato chips. They're not good for me. They're not like the tastiest thing in the world. But like, goddamn, will I remember really good potato chips? And I'll reminisce about like, you know, the double folded ones that are extra crunchy. You know, it's, you know, but like, you know, that ignores all of the stale ones between point A and point B, right? I think a lot of Dragon Ball storytelling is a stale potato chip. But boy, oh boy, do they have some real nice ones in there.
They do have some nice ones in there, indeed.
But circling back to what we were talking about,
Yes.
my experience of playing like fighting games, because like I played a lot of fighting games with when you guys were at Tommy's, right? You know, we played you know, Dragon Ball Budokai 3, Dragon Ball Budokai 2.
Yes.
We played Soul Calibur, we played Guilty Gear Reloaded.
Guilty Gear. We played Inuyasha. We actually
Inuyasha
played
Field
Mortal
Combat.
Kombat for a little bit. We played Mortal Kombat Deception.
Mortal Kombat Deception, yeah, which I did play a little bit of. I couldn't tell you what character I played. Probably Sub-Zero or something, or Scorpion. because like they're basically the Mario and Luigi of Mortal Kombat.
Indeed.
You can fight me if you feel differently. Yes, I know Liu Kang exists and like he's technically the Mario, but like we all know who.
Yeah, it's the ninjas. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Like if I show a random person on the street a picture of Liu Kang and a picture of Sub-Zero, they 100% know who Sub-Zero is. Not as many people know who Liu Kang is off look.
I'd agree with that.
So, so me as a young kid, I'm playing these fighting games. So we don't talk about Tenkaichi.
We don't talk about Tenkaichi. Oh man, we played Tenkaichi for a little bit. We tried to. The online was terrible.
So bad.
Yeah,
the game was terrible. The fact that the Wi-Fi was also bad didn't help, but the game was terrible too.
Yeah.
Like, to be clear. So what I'm saying is that like when I think to like Max's analysis of like when you're sitting there and you're playing with somebody that you know, the experience of playing against somebody who is significantly better than you is much better in person, if you have a relationship with that guy, of course, or a girl, than it is online. You're playing in ranked online. You run into a dude who just like you cannot beat. He has your number. He has the reads. He's cashed that check, half an hour ago, and you are you are 5 games down in a 7-game series, and you're looking at it and you're like, God, I cannot beat this guy. And it's not fun. It's just frustrating for a lot of people, right? But like I take that experience and I flip it to like, a game where like, even if like today, right, I buy Mortal Kombat and I'm like, Fifth, let's play. I get you on a Discord call and we start battling and you just kick the shit out of me for like a solid 90 minutes or whatever. Okay. That'll still be a good time. Because the thing is, it's not just that you're just beating my ass and I have no feedback. You can give me feedback.
Right.
Right? And when you play ranked, you just don't have that.
You don't get that at all.
You play at a local or you play... Again, a local is maybe like even putting too much of a label on it, but like you play with friends in person, you can have a conversation about like what you're actually doing. And, when we would pick up new fighting games that like none of us had ever played, we would all experience that discovery together, because this is still, early 2000s. Internet exists, but like it's still mostly forums, and it's not the easiest thing to go and find a forum about a video game you care about at the time. So, we all load up Guilty Gear. None of us have ever played before. We load up Fatal Fury. None of us have ever played before.
Right. And
like our experience is watching, everyone try and figure out new things. We all just kind of pick a character and go. And, as we come up with, like, oh, actually this move's super cheesy, and, eventually somebody works out how to work around it, they can just say, oh, actually, if you just block it low at the, right before he does the thing, then, you'll get it through.
Right.
You'll block it, or, or someone works out how to finally do the parries. He's like, oh, okay, I get it. You have to do it like right here. You don't get that in online matches.
No, 100% you don't. You just get wrecked, and then you go on to the next fight.
Yeah, and like you might play against somebody who has a similar skill level to you. Similar skill level, it might be like super air quotes, depending on the game, because matchmaking is like everyone's favorite thing to bitch about.
Right.
Because like really what it breaks down to is that like people think of like, oh, I don't want to overgeneralize, but some people's like perception of like how good they are is not like reality, I guess. And so when they play against somebody who's who's decent at the game and knows what they're doing, they absolutely get crushed. But they play against somebody who doesn't, and then they're the one on the other side. And some games matchmaking certainly is a problem, but I think what the real issue here is that even in those games where you're running against somebody who is much better, you don't have that kind of feedback. Like I remember hearing advice years and years ago where it was like, how do I get good at a game? And the wisdom at the time was like, just lose at the game a lot. Like lose at the game a lot and you will get better. And like that might have been true before like online play was a widespread thing. But nowadays, if you did that, like you're taking your life into your hands, man. People don't have the constitution for that sort of thing.
To be fair, I don't know if that was ever good advice. I think in the pursuit of getting good, you will lose a lot, but you can't just lose a lot.
despite my best efforts.
Yeah, it's like just keep losing and then you'll get better. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
and like I might be like summarizing a little bit too much, but the whole point was like find someone who's a lot better than you and play against them as much as you can,
Oh, I see. Yeah. And
right?
that's not all that's to it.
Yeah, exactly. Because like that can get extrapolated to like you're going to lose a lot of games, right? But the point is, it's not even good enough to just find someone who's a lot better than you. Like you need someone that you can have a conversation with
Yep.
about it. And honestly, when I think about how over the last couple of decades we've, hey SG, how you doing?
What's going on, support?
So, I think back to the last couple of decades of gaming where we've, migrated away from the centralized arcade, environment, and we have moved into the Black Mirror pod-esque, situation of fighting games nowadays, where it's like, oh yeah, you play like, how many people play Mortal Kombat, right? Like millions of people, tens of thousands of people, whatever, right?
Okay.
How many of those Mortal Kombat players have ever met another Mortal Kombat player?
Right?
Back in the day, you might say all of them, right? But today, there is a growing percentage of players who purchased Mortal Kombat. They know nobody in person who plays Mortal Kombat, who likes Mortal Kombat. Their girlfriend hates Mortal Kombat. Their parents don't understand Mortal Kombat, but they live, shit, and breathe Sub-Zero. They get on the game, they play against a dude who plays Kenshi for some reason, and they cannot win a game. And all they can do is they can go into the bathroom and scream as the water just pours on their face. But their girlfriend doesn't understand. Their dog doesn't understand. Their homies at work don't understand. All they can do is just lose to this Kenshi or lose to this Kano.
Pretty much.
And like that used to not be the case. If you played Mortal Kombat, like by definition, you had to go find somebody to play with.
Yeah.
Once upon a time,
Just to be
right?
able to play. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, because like no sane person enjoys the story mode of Mortal Kombat. Like that's not why people play the game. Some people do probably, right? But like the majority of people who pick up these games, they want to play against other
You want to
people.
beat someone up. Yeah. A person.
Yeah, exactly. Like nobody has fun playing against the AI. Like it's in my mind, I think most people play through the story mode. Some people because they're invested in it, but like largely it's a chore otherwise, right?
Yeah.
It's a thing that you need to do to like finish unlocking the main cast, and then once you have that, then you probably don't even really understand
Start
the
learning
mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's like homework basically. Um, and that's the thing is that like there's only two games where I ever like felt compelled to go and do homework, right? When it comes to like fighting games, and it's Melee
Uh-huh.
and Fighters.
Okay. Really? What about Budokai 3?
Yeah, I guess Budokai 3 also counts.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
it
no,
counts.
now that I think about it, I definitely labbed Budokai 3 for sure. So like those three games are like the only ones where I ever spent like significant time like in practice mode, you know? Well, I guess like the Budokai franchise in general, I did. Mostly because I really wanted to learn how to do the combo links in that game, which were like a pretty important mechanic if you want to do like longer combos, to do like combo canceling and stuff.
Right.
But like that mechanic was like would like carry through from like game to game. So once you learned how to do it, it was applicable in the entire franchise. So like the Budokai series, Dragon Ball Fighters, and Smash Melee were like the only games that I ever spent like significant time like in practice mode labbing, trying to figure out how to do different combos and like looking up, how to do combos and such. And with Melee, it was like largely like teaching myself how to wave dash and how to incorporate that into combos and such. But in Budokai and in Fighters, like it was full on like learning combos proper, learning how to do stuff. And, I think like, oh, what was it about those games that had me so engaged that I needed to like do that? Because like labbing is not like super fun for most people, at least in my experience.
No, I wouldn't say so. Which is why I think people are so bad at it.
Yeah, like there, and that's the thing too, right? Like it's a skill that you have to learn.
Yep.
It's not like you can just pick up a training mode and start like extracting maximum value from it. Like there's a way to lab, and most people don't know it. And I don't really even know it. I know I'm not getting the most I can out of a story, out of my training modes, but it's enough to figure out how to do a couple of combos and, not embarrass myself when it comes time to actually throw down with somebody. But I think back to like why it is that those are the games that like I really want to put the time in, and it's the people that I was playing with at the time. Because I think back to like Melee, and obviously we had Tommy's house. With Budokai, there was our buddy Derek that we played a bunch with. Um, at the time, I don't know if you remember Derek or
I
not.
100% remember Derek, yes.
Yeah, yeah, he sells reptiles now.
He
Like breeds
sells
reptiles.
reptiles?
Yeah, he breeds and sells like snakes and stuff and lizards.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
I'm surprised that you're
yeah.
still in touch with Derek.
Hey, Facebook exists.
Facebook exists. Good point.
Um, so like social media exists. And like it's not like we talk all the time, but I see his posts from time to time. Um,
Wait a
so
second.
like, I had to.
Before you move on, is there a Budokai 4? Secret says
No.
is Budokai 4 better than Budokai 3? I don't remember a Budokai 4.
There is no Budokai 4. He's talking out the side of his mouth.
Okay, I don't know why I gave him the... Okay, continue.
Yeah. Budokai 4 was always like teased. Like, oh, one day we'll get a Budokai 4. And it's like, no, we got Tenkaichi instead. Sons of bitches.
I think we had like a very Street Fighter like Dragon Ball game in between. I think it was like Super Dragon Ball. I don't know if anyone...
No, so there was, after Dragon Ball 3 Budokai 3 came out, they released Tenkaichi, the first Tenkaichi. And then they did the Tenkaichi series, and then after the third Tenkaichi game, they released was it Raging Blast or something for the Xbox?
That sounds familiar.
Budokai 4 is Sparking Zero. No, it's Sparking Zero is Sparking Zero. Budokai 4 does not exist. There's no technically.
Budokai 4. Yeah, I wouldn't say Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero is more a Tenkaichi than it is a Budokai. But anyway.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Like, how dare you?
But in
Spitting
any
on the
case,
memory of anyways. So like, to me, like it's the people that I was playing with. I had like a person that I wanted to play against, a person that I wanted to battle with, and people that I wanted to beat. And I don't know, just I don't get that experience. And I look at like fighters, right? And like even though with fighters I didn't have anybody in person to play against, we still had friends online that we were battling against. Like I was still playing against you, I was playing against Andrew, playing against Marcel, like a handful of people. But like we weren't able to keep those groups going on a regular basis. And so when that failed, my interest waned because it was just frustrating playing on ladder.
Yeah.
There isn't really another way to put it.
Yeah,
Lucky
I
I don't
agree.
have
And
a
I feel
kayak.
like that the community is really what keeps a game going. I mean, we played Melee for long beyond that game's lifespan. But I'm curious to know. So if you could have that environment again, would you, two questions. One, would you pay to be able to be a part of that environment? Like, let's say there was a weekly fee to walk through the door. And if so, how much would be too much for something like that?
And that's kind of tough to say because like a lot of that just depends on like my disposable income at the time. Um,
Okay.
like to me, like a cover charge of like more than like $5 or $6 would be too much in my opinion.
Okay.
Right? Like I think to like my like time going to like Pokemon tournaments and stuff, and like usually sign up is like $8 or something, $10. Once it gets over like the $10 range, at that point I'm like, all right, like I'm not entering this tournament unless I'm fairly certain I'm the best player in the room, like I'm not going for just vibes at that point. And like I don't know, like obviously like $10 isn't that much money in the grand scheme of things, but if I'm gonna spend $10 and 4 hours or whatever playing at a game store, I want to make sure I'm extracting value from it. And like the coldest hard logic that I can. Because the thing is that like even though I just spent the last hour or so, 30 minutes or so, talking about the importance of having that community, I think part of it is that if you put a price on it, it loses some of that. Because now the only people who are going to be there are not the people who are there to have fun. They're the people who are there to extract value from their $10. You know what I mean? Like it's at least like if the draw is like a tournament. Now if it's just like a cover to enter a venue because it's like a bar or something, okay, fine. Like bars have cover charges. Like that should just happen sometimes if it's a fancy place. So like that, I think is maybe slightly different. Like for instance, if it's like, let's say you're playing at a bar, right? Like it's a barcade, and it's a $15 cover charge, but it covers like your first drink. Okay, deal. I'm in, drink in hand, and like I'm tipsy, I'm feeling good, and I'm ready to lose in some Mortal Kombat. I'm ready to lose in any fighting game, right?
Right.
So like, to me, like that's what I would do personally,
Okay. Yeah,
but obviously I
feel
don't own a
like
barcade,
something like
so.
that would be worth it to have the community, and if you're really into fighting games and you really want to get the most out of a fighting game. But otherwise, I feel like playing at home, yeah, it's free, but it's nowhere near as fun.
It's really not. And that's the thing is that like obviously like if it's a barcade, you have the added benefit of it just being a chill place to hang out, and there isn't that like added pressure to like be good at a video game necessarily. Um so like there is that. And I think that like and you want to give people an opportunity to like get their feet wet and be kind of bad at it.
Right.
Okay, that's awesome secret. I'm really glad that you were able to look that up and,
Wait, what is he
and
talking
clarify.
about? Okay,
It-
Sparking
it's-
Zero is called Budokai Tenkaichi 4 in Japan.
So that's
Sparking
really cool.
Zero
I'm really
is?
glad that you.
And in
I'm
Japan,
really glad that you looked that up. Right. The only thing is that like I do have one slight technicality that I did want to point out that kind of furthers my portion of the argument, and I really want you to like key in on this. I just checked, and I don't live in Japan. I know, wild, absolutely wild. I know, but like I don't live in Japan,
Are you sure?
and so
Did you look outside?
hold on, let me look.
Okay.
No, yeah, no, my house has not moved to the land of the rising sun. So you know, like sure, in Japan they had they had four Budokai games, but here in the United States of America, we had three, and then we had Sparking Zero.
Yeah, which, did you play any Sparking Zero?
No,
I haven't played any of it. Yeah, me either.
okay, like it's okay, like Dragon Ball needed to like earn his trust back after like going from Budokai 3 to Tenkaichi. And like then releasing Tenkaichi 2 in the state that they did, and then releasing Tenkaichi 3 in the state that it was.
Even though I feel like when I watch videos online about people talking about Tenkaichi, they really like Tenkaichi 3, and I'm like, really?
Sometimes it feels like we were playing a different game.
Yeah, I don't know. It had
Like to me,
a
this
bit.
just felt like a Gundam simulator or something.
Yeah.
Like this was like if it was a Gundam game, that would have been sick. That wasn't what we got. We got like I don't know. I just don't like arena fighters in general. I don't like the format all that much.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
But I do like, like 2D fighters. Like 2D fighters have been fun. They're kind of bread and butter.
Yeah.
So,
I think
Vlad, your
it's-
jokes are going to be the end of me. Well, I've had a lot of practice trying to make bad jokes over the last, 10 or so years.
Luck West, what's going on? How formal of you with the bow.
Saying, showing respect.
I know, damn.
Unlike combatant over here, who just spams in
My gosh.
whatever.
But yeah, man, a lot of times I feel like I really miss that kind of environment. Like I feel like every quote unquote local that I've been a part of has always just been like a guy's house, like a friend's house, who just wanted to play as many games with as many people as possible. And I feel like our time at Tommy's was like I don't know, like kind of like the stars aligned that we were that close. It was, Anthony was like, "Hey, come to my house." It just so happens that like they had like the TV right in the front. The parents didn't care, and you know what I mean. It was just like all the stars aligned for that kind of environment to take place. And I really wish it was more common.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is like I just think that like over the course of time the gaming communities in general have just become a lot more fragmented. And basically unless you go out of your way to build that, you're not going to stumble into it all that frequently anymore.
Correct.
And I also think that like there's also the subtext of like you were talking like a cover charge, right? Like there's also the kind of recurring idea that people want to monetize stuff, right? So it's like if I'm going to put the energy in to build a local, how do I get money out of it to make it like cost even, if not cost positive, cost even. So I feel like there's a lot of that as well. Whereas like I feel like those friend groups just kind of evolve naturally over time, and it's because it was kind of an organic situation. Because the thing is, like, if there's a cover charge, you're not going to attract new people. You're only going to attract people who are already interested in this game, assuming that you have a way to market to them, right? Like, again, in your situation where it's a $5 cover charge, if I've never played Mortal Kombat before, and you're telling me I have to pay $5 to go in just to get into the building, I'm just going to go do something else, right? Unless I got like buddies that I'm going there with. So that's going to drive people away.
Well, what I'm saying is it's not necessarily Mortal Kombat. It's just, it's like Tommy's house where it's a bunch of fighting games.
Right. But what I'm saying is that like, again, like if you're like, hey, we're going to go hang out at a buddy's place for, the next few hours or whatever until like 11, 12 midnight or whatever. And we're going to play some games. Do you want to come? Sure. All right, cool. $5. Fuck, I'll just go home then. Like obviously like you're not trying to hustle me or anything, but when you put a price on that sort of thing, it immediately becomes different than like the experience that you're trying to chase. And like part of me does feel like it's chasing a thing that like we personally don't have but other people do. Right? Because obviously, like, the majority of our friend groups have moved away. I don't think any of us live in the same state anymore, for the most part. And, like, that just kind of happens with time. We're both old men at this point. We're talking about literally, like, gaming experiences of nearly 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Or literally 20 years ago, actually, Jesus. We're talking about a gaming experience of 20 years ago. And it's a different environment nowadays. So what I think is more productive is rather than like trying to chase what we had, is trying to understand what we have now and how to like make the most of what we have. And while I do agree that the best way to play fighting games in broad strokes is going to be in person and always will be in person, I don't think that it's super easy to I don't think that like unless you're willing to like put that like work in to like market, create the environment, like create the local community that you want to live in, unless you're willing to do that, you're not going to just like stumble into it anymore. So it's like, what is step one? Finding a venue and trying to market it. Like, market to who? Trying to do that online is kind of tough because people live all over the place. You have a nice community here of people who are Mortal Kombat enthusiasts, but like you couldn't create a local out of that. These people live all over the country, all over the world.
Yeah.
It's not It's not the same thing. Whereas, like, if you were, hanging out at work with people that you like hanging around with, and you're like, yo, I'm going to go play Mortal Kombat. Are you interested? You could just ask your friends at work and see if they want to turn into, like, more than just work friends. Now, suddenly they're actual friends, you know? Um, because the thing is that, like, I had a similar experience when I moved to Las Vegas, and, like, my D&D, my D&D game fell apart because I moved to another state.
I remember that.
Um, so, what, 10, 15 years ago when I moved to Las Vegas initially, and I had to cancel my ongoing D&D game in Florida, I didn't know anybody in the state. I literally moved there and knew nobody. Um, so when I got to, my new job and, I'm introducing myself and talking to people, like, I ask them their hobbies. I lead with mine. And, if we vibed, then I invited them to my D&D game because I was like, hey, look, I'm thinking about running a D&D game, dude. Are you interested? Um, so that's how I did it. And you can do the same thing with fighting games. Like, you vibe with somebody at work, you vibe with, some people that you met at a bar or at a restaurant or whatever. Like, like it's hard to be charismatic at times and it can be awkward. But like I literally befriended a waiter at a pizza place that I went to with my wife. Like literally, I just got his wedding invitation today in the mail. Like that sometimes you just make friends with random people.
That's true.
So
even though I feel like, I mean, with video games, I feel like it might be a little bit there's another barrier to that because where do you play? I mean, I guess you could say come to my house and play at someone's house, but
it's what you do with D&D, man.
that's what you do with D&D. Good point.
You invite them to your house to play to roll dice. Yeah, support. That's me. This is Vlad.
That's
this
Vlad.
Is the voice of Vlad.
Also, Black History. Oh, yes, indeed. You missed my beginning when I was going, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm bigoted black, and I'm black, y'all. But yes, happy Black History Month.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's funny. It's like now that we're like out of school, it's not like the first thing that you get hit with, right? I remember being in like middle school and high school and elementary school. It's like the minute February 1st rolls around, suddenly every lesson plan
is Black History stuff. Yeah.
It's Black History Month. Mm-hmm. But like now that I'm not, like I made it 3 whole days into February before I found out that we were back in Black History Month.
Yep, indeed.
So, but like to my point, right, is that like you can go and just befriend people that you don't know if they're interested in playing video games and just like invite them to your place and be like, yo, what you doing after work today? Yeah, if it's a dude, obviously, you're probably not hitting on them. If it's a woman, you have to like clarify that, like, yo, I'm not hitting on you, but like, I'm gonna go play Mortal Kombat after work. Like, you're welcome to like come and chill, right? Like,
and to be fair, I mean that's kind of what happened with Tommy's, where it was just, hey, Common Connection is closing. Do you guys want to come over? And
yeah,
they had video games.
Yeah, and like just don't be worried about it.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, like obviously it can be really difficult if you don't have that like willingness to get shot down. But like it's so low pressure and like ostensibly this is somebody that you like enjoy talking to at work or at a bar or whatever in some capacity. It's go make friends, I guess. Like there's no other way to put it. Like you just have to make friends with people who live near you and then invite them to go play video games together.
Yeah.
If you have like 1 or 2 friends in the area that play video games, like coordinate it, make it a thing. Hey, every other Saturday, let's just go jam, I don't know, fucking Guilty Gear Strive or something for a couple hours or 2KXO, whatever the League of Legends game.
What other game is currently out, or maybe like a super old game, like maybe Melee or
like one of the classics.
Yeah.
Or just make it like a recurring thing where like, like for instance, like I have ever occurring every Sunday. I join a Discord and we like they stream anime, right? And
Wait,
they got a point
what?
system. What do you mean what? I've literally told you about this.
Really? I don't remember this.
We were talking about how to stream New York Ninja, and I explained that I was in a
Oh, yes,
Discord
yes, yes,
server.
yes, yes. Okay, I recall. I recall. Okay.
Losing your memory, old man? The
You know
fuck?
what? I am an old man, and I have been losing my memory. Yes, and before I forget this, hold on. Luck West said, "Is Piccolo invited to the cookout?" Yes,
Obviously.
obviously, and plus he only drinks water, so it's
I'm
he
saying his vibes are immaculate. He aura
yes.
farms off the side. He doesn't bother nobody,
I
and he
know
only
he
drinks
has his
water.
back turned to you. He's chilling with his eyes
He's the perfect
closed,
guest. He's literally the perfect guest.
drinking water. Yeah, he's invited to the cookout. Anyway,
You know who's not invited? Vegeta.
water or otherwise.
Exactly. You know who's not drinking water on the side? Vegeta.
Oy, oy, oy. Anyway,
Yeah, but so like I watch anime every on Sunday nights in a Discord call, and it's only like three of us or whatever. But like every time we show up, like once we finish one anime, like it's like all right, I call next. So like we just rotate, like
oh,
this,
that's cool.
it's like all right, we just finished watching Pumpkin Scissors. It's like all right, now so and so wants to watch frick whatever watched the OG Trigun, and we finished OG Trigun. Now we moved on to
Beautiful.
yeah. And then we moved on from OG Trigun to Bakano, right? So and you show up, you watch a few episodes, and like all right, good night everybody. And then once that series ends, you just move on to the next one. So if you want, you can do the same thing with your fighting game community or your video game community, right? Hey, we'll meet every couple of weeks, and then like once a month, next person can pick the game that we play.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's
So
the way to do it.
yeah, I mean, like just keep it fresh, keep it moving, and like yeah, maybe one guy wants to keep going back to playing Mortal Kombat Deception or whatever, or Armageddon or something, and you're like, man, why you always bring Ultraman for show and tell? And it's like, well, because Ultraman rocks. But like that's just how it works. You give people a hook.
Yeah.
Yo, what's your favorite fighting game? Hey, you want to bring it over to my place? Like, we'll jam some games. Have I ever played? No. But you know what? Bet you I'd kick your ass anyways.
Yeah, indeed. And I feel like that, well, I don't know if it's fair for me to say that doesn't happen enough nowadays, but I do know as far as like my channel is concerned, whenever periodically I'll do a poll about, do you play games with other people or not? And most people don't and don't want to. Most people are like, no, I don't want to go outside. I'm like, you literally, like, this is a touch grass moment. Like, you don't want to hang out with other people. And I think maybe it's because so many people haven't had the experience because they never
I mean,
needed
that's definitely possibly part of it. Also, Fujin just definitely has Witcher vibes. I don't know if that like he just has.
Oh, he does kind of look like what's his name? Superman?
Geralt, I think it is.
Huh?
Geralt, I think it is.
The guy who played Superman.
Oh,
Cavill, Henry Cavill.
Henry. Yeah, he does look a little bit like Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
See, we need to get the the Cavalrine to play Fujin. That's what we need. But I think you're right. Like, I think a lot of people don't know what that experience is like, and I don't know if we've just like experienced a whole generation of people with social anxiety or not. But like sometimes you just got to get out there and meet other people. Like don't get me wrong, I like staying home too. I'm not really somebody who goes out all that much anymore. But that has less to do with like the fact that I don't enjoy it, and more to do with What is going on in chat? Hold on.
Yeah, I was just looking at it right now, and it's like, oh my gosh, again, it's like every single time. Anyway, all right, continue.
Just mind blown. Um, don't I wouldn't worry about it, Diamond. So yeah, I think like part of it is people just don't have like a frame of reference, you know, and people grew up playing Halo Online on Xbox Live nowadays,
Right.
and they don't remember what it was like before then.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it's like I mean, we grew up at a time where like fighting games didn't have ranked.
Online, there was no online.
Yeah, there was no online play. Like it was a big deal that like the Wii even could go online.
Right?
Like it was a big deal that like I mean technically the PlayStation 2 had an online feature, but nobody used it.
It had a
Like
limited, yeah. I remember the first fully online system was like the
the
Dreamcast.
Xbox, I think. Oh, was the Dreamcast?
The Sega Dreamcast, and that was a big deal. 1999. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, forgive me for forgetting the Sega Dreamcast. It didn't have the staying power that I think Sega had hoped for.
It did not. Poor things. Those games are just so easy to burn.
Yeah, they really are. So, but yeah, like I would say that like Dreamcast for sure, but I think the one that like really embraced online was definitely the Xbox. I think was the first like console that
yeah,
really
that was like the golden age of online gaming.
So, anyways, yeah, I think just people just don't know what they have, right? Or like they don't know what they're missing because they literally have never seen it, and it's kind of, man, what is this dude doing? What's this clown show going on?
Yeah, I know. All right.
Man, must be nice to have nothing better to do.
Yeah, right? Like, if you don't like the stream or you don't like the people in the stream, then leave. Like, just, I don't get it.
Man, you gotta start charging rent, dude. You living in this guy, living in his head rent free.
Like, I don't understand what I feel, and he's never attacked me. He just attacks everyone else in the chat, and it's like, why? Anyway, all right. I don't want to give any time to it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. So yeah, that's one of the things that I think makes me sad when I think of like the fighting game communities nowadays is that people talk about like how much fun they have going to like large tournaments, and like you'll see like videos online where it's like, oh, I went to Evo, oh, I went to this, to that, to this major event, and like, oh, it was awesome to meet up with so and so, and it's like, yeah, a lot of these people just live super far away, so it's not easy to do. But if you meet enough people in the area, like you could just do that all the time. There's nothing stopping
right?
You, right? But for whatever reason, people have it in their head that like these are special occasions, and like they are special, right? Don't misunderstand what like that experience of like having a group of friends that you can go and hang out with at their house and just game for a while and not worry about things in real life. Like that is a special thing.
Yeah.
But we don't need to treat it like, it's not real if we didn't spend, $300 on a plane ticket and
Right.
$250 on a hotel. Right?
Entry fee. Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't need to make it that kind of exclusive club. We could do better. So like I guess that's kind of like what I was really thinking about is like what does it take to get past the wall, right? What does it take to scale the wall where it's like you need people to help you up, and that's not something like no one's free climbing Mount Everest alone. They get guides, right? They get equipment, they get practiced people who have done it before who will show them the way and will hopefully help them safely navigate their way back up and down. I don't think that, like, I mean, maybe that's an apt analogy. It's like getting good at a fighting game is a bit like climbing a mountain, not in the literal sense, but in that like nobody does it by themselves. And certainly nobody does it, and nobody does it without heavily researching it either anymore.
which is a lot different because I feel like back in the day, like we didn't know, like with Smash Ultimate, like all the frame data is out there, but in Melee, it was just like this feels safe, or this feels fast, or this feels like I can get punished with this button. You know what I mean? You just had to like try it and get punished or not punished.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's definitely that. I mean, even then, though, the information was out there. Like, the Smash World forums existed, like, when we were playing, and
That's true.
Tommy was active on it.
Oh,
The
very
information was
much.
out there if we wanted to look for it. And, like, to his credit, I'm sure Tommy was aware of some of this information as well, just because we weren't personally.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that wasn't always the case for every game that we played, right?
Right.
We're playing against him and he's just spamming shit as Faust and Guilty Gear, and it's like, well, like, I don't know what to do about this. you know.
Speaking about that, do you have any funny stories that you remember of Tommy's?
Yeah, I mean, funny. Yeah, I have stories from Tommy's for sure. Um, I think one of the clearer memories I have is when he got stabbed. That was definitely something.
When Tommy got stabbed?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Why do I not remember this? No. But wait, what? I remember him. like wanting to fight.
No. So Victor had a replica of Kadaj's sword from Final Fantasy Advent Children.
Oh, I
and he was
remember
playing,
this. Yes. Okay.
and so he knocked on the door and Tommy answered, and he was like pretend like gonna like stab him with it or whatever, but like Tommy threw up his arms in his defense and it actually stabbed
Stabbed him. Yes. Okay. I thought you meant someone like an
Shanked
unknown
him?
person.
No.
Yeah, or something like that.
No, but I remember them arguing out front because Tom's like, "Why the fuck did you stab me?" He's like, "Well, you weren't supposed to move your hand up." He's like, "Why are you trying to block a sword with your hand?" He's like, "I wasn't going to hit you until you moved your hand in the way."
Yeah, but you're swinging us like what do you? The sword should be sheathed though.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know that Kadaja's sword could easily be sheathed.
Fair.
Anyways, so there was that. Actual fighting game memories. I have a few for sure. Obviously, different instances of Tommy completely crushing us in Melee. Definitely was one of them. I remember when he four stock perfected Mitchell when Mitchell was playing Samus.
I remember that.
Poor guy.
I think it was
like,
wasn't it one hand while reading a letter, something like that.
So those are two different instances. There was one game where he was playing with one hand, reading a letter and eating French fries, and beat. It might have been Mitchell, it might have been Casey. He beat one of the guys. I remember. And then there was a separate game where he was playing against Mitchell with one hand and perfected him with 0%. Which, like, to his credit, I don't think Mitchell played Smash after that.
Yeah, that he retired.
Which, like, honestly, I would too. So there was that. Obviously, I remember the first time I was able to like wave dash in a game, which was super cool. Because like I had spent like quite a while trying to figure out how to do it like meaningfully,
Hell
consistently.
yeah. Mhm.
So that was super cool. I remember, what was the game? I just remember Tommy shouting, "I eat people," and it was the one grab super. Where I don't remember the fucking character anymore.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
like,
Oh my gosh. I think it was like I think it was
was that King of
King
Fighters?
of Fighters, yes.
I don't remember the character's name.
He has a really long name, begins with a Y, but yes, I know who you're talking about. And he would like
Yeah,
bite you. Yeah.
Yeah, you like do like a suplex and then just like stab him to hell. So there was that. I remember us realizing that for whatever reason, Shippo couldn't be grabbed in Inuyasha
Right?
Mortal
Like
Kombat
nothing
because his
high
hitbox
would
was
hit him, and it was such an oversight of that game.
yeah, in a game that was very much not designed to be played competitively.
Yeah.
There's that for sure. I remember there was a stint where we were playing Kingdom Hearts 2, shockingly enough.
Oh yeah, and just trying to beat Sephiroth.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I think it was that like Tommy wanted to do it because I had done it before, I recall correctly, but like he wanted to do it.
Right.
So so there was that. Yeah, I mean a lot of melee games.
A lot of men.
You know, against Alfred and oh shit, what was his other friend's name? Kate, was it Kyle?
Kyle. Yep.
Right? Uh, Alfred and Kyle and you, Carlton.
Carlton. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Good
lots of
times.
good memories for sure. A lot of good times. I remember, was it, fuck, who was it? It was, gosh, I don't remember the guy's name. Oh, man. It was a dude that only went there a few times, but I remember he got super bent out of shape when he realized Hans was older than him.
What? Are you talking about the guy who actually made Hans mad? Like he said
Yes,
he was an
yes.
artist. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I wanted to
I
say
forget what his
Viscount, but
handle
it's not
was.
Viscount. It was like oh man. I remember he played Marth and Tommy
Yeah,
whooped
his name was
him.
like, yeah, it wasn't close. Um,
Oh my gosh. And I've never
his
seen
screen was
Hans
like
angry.
chaotic, or his like handle was like chaotic, or like something like that, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Yeah, it was something like that. Man, I to this day I've never seen Hans upset until
yeah,
he
well, because he was like, oh, you don't understand. When you're my age, you have actual problems. Hans, like I'm older than you are. What the hell are you talking about?
and I remember everything like he was looking at Hans's art book and he was like, "Yeah, this is garbage. This is garbage." And he's like, "All right, you draw it." Man, I can draw. I once draw a girl like sipping a soda or something and he was like, "What? Let me see what you done." And he's like, "Nah, you're garbage. Your art is
His
garbage." I was like, "What?"
fr- yeah, and like it's for the record, like our friend is like an actually talented artist. Like he actually is like puts the work in. Is very good at drawing.
Yeah, he
It
makes
just
his
says like,
money through his art right now.
yeah,
That's
literally.
how he
Um,
earns an income.
yeah, his entire professional life. Um, you know, he's earned, and the thing is like he does have like a cartoony art style, his personal art style, right? But
Right.
like he's capable of drawing anatomy and physiology just
Oh
fine.
yeah, he
He
can
just,
do it.
that's not his preference.
Yeah.
Um, so it's I don't know. I just like I remember this dude, and he's like, yeah, this is definitely the kind of guy who would be very into AI art, for sure. Does not value it at all.
Right.
Um,
Oh, that's gonna annoy me that I forgot his name. Ay, ay, ay.
yeah, it
Andrew
was definitely
knows it.
like, yeah, it's like I said, it's something like it's like chaotic or it's something like that. It was like spelled cringy, like with a Z or something.
Yeah. Oh man. And then of course, I think a really cool thing is that it actually Tommy did a tournament that we went to, Saks.
Yeah, I mean
That
that
was
wasn't
fun.
technically at his place. That was at a Com
At
Connection for
Comic Connection,
sure.
right?
Yeah, and footage of that of his legendary Ganon Ditto still exists online
It's
today.
still
Shockingly.
online, yeah.
Yeah, you can find it. It's a little bit tough to like just like look it up on YouTube if you don't know what you're looking for, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, if you know what you're looking for, if you put like Triforce of Power, Ganondorf, Smash, you'll find it.
yeah, it's Rafa versus Titman.
Oh no, 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 no. I'm thinking about his combo video. But the Rafa versus
Oh
Titman.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right, you're
man,
right.
his Triforce of Power like Ganon combo video in probably 2 decades at this
I
point. I
know,
haven't seen it
right?
since he made it.
You have a shout out in it.
I do. I'm actually credited.
Yeah.
I even made an appearance, funnily enough. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, like that's the thing, though, right? Like, it's like a weird claim to fame, but it's like, yeah, like the like wave dash off the stage and like do the backwards, up air or whatever as Ganondorf edge guarding. Like that was a technique that he perfected on our play group. Like
Right,
when you see
right.
people do that in melee as like a thing that Ganon just does, like that's a thing that he invented that we were the test dummies for. When
Yeah,
he realized that he could replicate that weird angle every
yeah,
time he hits just right.
It's so funny that it's now a Ganondorf bread and butter that we were the guinea pigs for, essentially.
Absolutely. It's like my like claim to fame in the melee community. It's like, yeah, I remember when that thing didn't exist, and I remember the day he discovered it. Like, he was like, wait a
Yeah, and he
minute.
was like, hold on. Let me try that again.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, so yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. It just, when I was watching Max's video or the clip from Max's video, I guess, on that, I just, like, I thought back to those days, and I was like, man, like, what would it take for me to like want to get good at a fighting game? And like part of it is like the time investment, sure, right? It takes time to get good at these things, but is it even worth it to spend that time? Well, not if you don't have the people that you want to play with,
Right.
you know. I know Combatant was saying like, "Oh, I'm lucky that I don't have, MKX or whatever," and it's like I don't know, man. Like even if I were to buy those games, like I don't know that I would want to spend the time to like put into them anyway, even if I did. And it's not that like those things can't be rewarding. It's just that I don't have a play group that like the thing that draws me to fighting games is the community aspect of it. Like that's the part of the game that is the most fun for me. But like not the online community necessarily. It is like the literal like the person to person interactions that like keeps me playing those games. And in absence of those things, I just stop playing them. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there who are casual fighting game players who like maybe buy a fighting game every once in a blue moon, but they don't ever stick with them for very long, probably because of that. Because their experience of playing a fighting game is playing through the story mode, playing like a half hour unranked, getting completely crushed, and then they're like, all right,
I'm done with this.
yeah, they move on to something else, right? And like, I don't know that there's anything that like like I remember you had sent a video over a while back about trying to like fix that problem, like the fact that fighting games don't really teach you very well on how to play fighting games,
Hmm.
and like that onboarding process. And it's like I don't even know if there's like yeah, I don't think that like current fighting games do a very good job of it, but
They
and
don't.
he glazed Subspace Emissary for like
Oh yeah.
15 minutes.
That really bothered you, the fact that he really liked he was like Subspace Emissary was like the perfect teaching tool or something like that. I forget what he said.
Yeah, like well, the thing is like it gets points for being different, right? Um, like is that like the ultimate configuration of what the end point of like fighting game story modes should look like? I don't know. But like my maybe it's just been a long time since I've played it. But like I didn't have very fond memories of Subspace Emissary to the point where I was like, boy, I wish this was in every fighting game. Um, I'm happy that he did. Statistically, somebody had to. I wasn't one of them.
That's
So
hilarious.
to me, like when I think of like, okay, what stops people from like, what's the resistance? What stops fighting games from being super popular? And obviously part of it is the difficulty, right? Like, the difficulty of being good and staying good. And like part of it is that those things are difficult to teach. But I think a lot of it too is just the games themselves have been kind of designing themselves into a corner where the advertised mode of play is the worst way to play them. Like,
What would you the advertised way of playing is what? Being able to play online?
yes. Like, I don't know that I've ever had, like, I don't know that I've ever had less fun than trying to play a fighting game online that I barely understand. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's just not a fun experience. And even when I do understand the game and I'm just not very good at it, it's not fun. And it takes a certain kind of psychopath to like really push yourself to do that day in and day out and like force yourself to do that to get better. Because like I'd be willing to bet money that's not the primary way that Sonic Fox plays.
Oh,
Like
like
I'm sure that he
playing
has.
ranked online?
I'm sure that's not how he got good, right?
Probably not.
Like I'm sure he probably has people in his like day to day that he plays against, and I would be genuinely shocked if that was the way that most people got good. I genuinely think that like most people who get better at these sorts of games have people in
They
their
have
actual day to day that they can
some
really
kind of
talk to and
community.
play with.
Yeah.
Exactly. Um, we used to joke about the Mewtwo guy, right? like the guy who just labs Mewtwo all day. And like, sure, maybe that guy is out there somewhere, but like that's the thing is that like the fighting game community has kind of engineered it such that everyone gets to be the Mewtwo guy. We all get to cosplay as the Mewtwo guy,
That's
and that's not
hilarious.
fun.
So
But like, prove me
just in
wrong.
case people are wondering, who is the Mewtwo guy?
So the Mewtwo guy is a fabled Super Smash Brothers Melee player, a hypothetical person who hyper specializes in Mewtwo, the worst character, the objectively worst character in Melee. And we always used to joke that like one day some dude's gonna show up, Cheetos smeared over his GameCube controller, just wheezing his way into the chair that barely fits his ass, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna play some Mewtwo now.
And
Here,
just
let me
wreck.
plug it in and just crush." Right? Because like the hope is that like even though the character's bad, like maybe one day, somebody out there will like crack the
Crack the
code,
code.
right?
You're right.
We'll have like meditated under a waterfall or something
Uh-huh.
for 72 days to reach enlightenment, and then like with after achieving nirvana, return to Earth so that he can lay waste with Mewtwo,
Hmm.
in ways hereto not understood or seen by mortal eyes. So like that was a joke. That is a joke, right? It is a thing that does not exist. It is a fairy tale,
Hmm.
and I just can't help but like look at all the different fighting game communities out there, and it's like this is what they've turned us all into. They've turned us all into the
To
Mewtwo
the
guy,
Mewtwo
where we
guy.
just because the whole point was that like he was antisocial. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't
Right.
talk to anybody. He didn't go to events. He didn't play tournaments. He just sat at home and labbed Mewtwo. Well, guess what? Now we all get to do that.
Now we all kind of get to do that. Yeah.
Shinfitz gets to stay home and lab Geras.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Play Geras more. Don't like who you play against? Load into rank one more time. You are the Geras dude.
Yeah, I guess so. Even though, so the reason I asked about how much would you pay for an environment is because there's a barcade that I go to that I'm actively trying to make it to get an MK community there because it's mostly Street Fighter. I think there's like one or two other guys there that play Mortal Kombat.
Hold on. That lady's arm is way too short. Her forearm doesn't look quite right.
Oh, what, the one in the middle?
Yeah. Like the way that like the lighting and whatnot makes her right arm look much shorter than her left one.
Yeah, I don't know who did that drawing, but very strange.
I think it's just the angle of the arm, but like it makes her look like she has a stubby right arm. Like it's given Scary Movie 2 vibes where it's like, it's my strong hand.
Fantastic movie, by the way.
Absolutely. Not at all politically correct. I don't think we could play it on American TV anymore,
You
but
can.
like it was really funny at the
I
time.
don't think you can make that movie nowadays.
I mean, they certainly tried. Um,
Indeed. I mean that series crashed and burned. Just terrible as those
Much like
sequels
our
went on.
chances of winning.
Much like our chances of winning. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so this place that I go to, I'm trying to get an MK community there. But there is a cover charge. It's like $10 or so it's $10 and you can play any game for as long as you want, all night long. Or you buy a drink, essentially. And if you buy a drink, which comes out to like $10 or nine bucks, nine something, and then you get the wristband to be able to play video games. So it's like $10 to be in this environment, essentially.
And like that's fine because like it's a bar, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of people that I would be more than happy to grab a drink with, the legendary Shao Kahn Gaming has entered the chat.
Oh,
Welcome,
this
Shao.
man.
You mean this legend?
Don't encourage him.
Look, I've yet to meet a man more committed to kayfabe. Okay, and
There are wrestlers that are not as committed to kayfabe as this man.
I'm saying.
He's Louise.
But like it's a bar, right? Like I'd grab a drink. It's fine. Like if you're going to a bar, you should grab a drink, even if it's just a Coke or something. So like fine. And like if you don't want to drink, like whatever, it's $10. And like that's reasonable. But I also think if you want people to go there for the first time and it's somebody that you're inviting personally, you might need to cover them first.
Yeah, probably.
Um, because like like treat it like a date, right? Like you invite your homie over, like yo, I'll cover you. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, and if it costs you, an extra $10 or whatever here and there, and eventually they can show up on their own.
Right.
Just, because like the thing is, like they might not know if they like it, they might not know if they like the vibe, they might not know if they f with it, but say like, yo, I'm heading to this barcade. You want to come with? I'll cover you this time.
Yeah, that's a good
And like,
point.
as long as you make it clear that you're not going to cover it every time, um, then you're good to go. And like whatever, worst case scenario, you buy a homie a drink. Like that's not the worst thing in the world,
Yeah.
unless they're like a recovering alcoholic, in which case,
Yeah, that's probably not a good environment for them to be in.
yeah, I was gonna say like that is like a kind of a partially exclusionary venue, right? It's like, yeah, if we know like booze is around, like we don't want like some people are not going to be comfortable in that sort of environment,
Right.
but like most people will be.
But I
I
think
feel
I
like.
think the barrier is the money. Obviously, is having to. Well, I would say the barrier is getting out of your house. I feel like after work,
Yeah, the barrier is like
you
getting
don't
out of
want to.
house and like letting people know that it's there,
Yeah,
right? Like marketing it. Because like, in your area, how many Mortal Kombat players are there? Probably a lot. How many of them know that you care enough to like want to get a local together? Probably not very
yeah.
many.
No one. If there is anyone, none of them.
Yeah, because you have no way to contact them, right? It's not like a card game where there's like a centralized hub of like, a local game store in the area that everybody congregates at. They're like fighting games don't have that.
That's a good point, actually, and I didn't really think about it that way because back in the day, you could just like go to the mall and go to the arcade and find
And that's where
someone,
you had to go
find
to
people.
play video games.
I mean, you had to, yes, but that's where you could make friends. People who like the same kind of game you do. But yeah, that's arcades aren't a thing anymore.
No. And like every once in a while you'll have some boomer who wants to like open one again, and then they realize why they don't exist anymore after they've like, spent all of their money on it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a
and then you'll have
shame.
like the entrepreneurial ones who like think, oh, well, what does work really well? Bars. We don't have enough of those. But what if we put video games in them too? Um, so I realize this is probably a really chill place. I hope the guy does really well. But like I'm just saying that, just regular arcades don't work on their own.
Right, 100%.
Um, there's actually a really cool barcade in uh frick, what town was it? It's where Gen Con is. Was it Indianapolis?
A card game,
But
Duel Monsters. Yeah, I used to play some Duel Monsters.
yeah, we dueled some monsters back in the day. We some pot of greeds were resolved. Some
Pot
graceful
of Greed.
charities
What does
were.
that card do?
It allows you to draw two new cards from your dueling deck.
Indeed.
Um, so yeah, like there's like when it comes to, like the hobby, there's like kind of a fundamental difference in the way that like card game hobbies create these like hotspots of people who play card games versus like video games where it's like a super dispersed thing nowadays. It's just like very diffuse into the population. And like weirdly enough, Dungeons and Dragons has a similar problem where or had a similar problem, still does, where people who want to play Dungeons and Dragons prefer to do it in person, but there isn't really like a place where people who play D&D congregate all that much. Um, But there are some card game stores, like some LGSs, that will host game nights, and Wizards put together
Like
a program.
okay.
Yeah, like they call it like Adventure Night or whatever it is, where like they have the stores get a couple of GMs together and they run people through modules, and like it's not like real. It is D&D, but it's not like super like tailored to your character. It's just kind of like you're running a module,
Hmm.
so it's a little like paint by numbers in that respect. But it's a great gateway, and it gets people who want to play D&D in the same room, in the same place, at the same time. And like fighting games don't really have that. There isn't a place where I can go online. Like NRS doesn't have a section of their website that says like locate a local near you,
Right.
you know, because like as far as they're concerned, their job of like community building ends at we created a rank mode that is
Right. You
good
bought the
enough.
game. You
The
can play
rank mode
ranked.
exists.
It has
Yeah,
rollback.
yeah. Even the rollback's not always a given, right?
Right.
Like
Exactly.
some games will not do it. Like we created a way to play against other people online. That is our job is done. And I think that like part of the onus, if like fighting game makers want their games to like be successful, they need to invest in that community at some point. And that goes, in my opinion, beyond just funding, world championships and world tournaments.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
agree.
think you need to like want to create that architecture for those communities to get to know one another and to like to meet and do that sort of thing.
But then it's like,
And
what does that even look like? Is it like I don't know, a place where people go to play? Do you charge them to play? Do you charge, like, do you do the cover charge thing? Or
I mean, to
do we
me,
just
like
lose money on this?
I mean, well, like what are you losing money on, right? Like
On everything, the
here's a
venue, the electricity, the
well, like to me, I kind of envision it something like the way that like um trying to think of the best way to put it, the way that like tournament organizers will like set up their tournaments with different gaming organizations. So like if you want to host a Pokemon tournament, you find a local game store that's willing to let you use their space and you work out an arrangement with them and then you register with, TPCI. And now if I go online, I look up tournaments in your area, yours shows up, right? Is there a reason why
oh,
NRS
okay.
can't do the same thing where like I want
So
to
it's like a
like create a
database, like,
sanctioned, yeah,
okay.
it's like creating like a sanctioned recurring locals, right? And I sign it up with NRS, and then if I go to the NRS website, I search, in my area, and oh look, here's a list of all the locals that are coming up in the next 3 weeks. And it's up to the tournament organizers to organize everything else because that they're the TO, but they can get it officially sanctioned. Maybe NRS is interested in like awarding some sort of point system towards a world championship or something. But again, this would entail them taking more direct control over like the world's situation and creating an environment for it. And I don't think that the game company is especially interested in doing that. But I think that in absence of them creating that kind of database, the only other alternative would be to do that on your own and just kind of accept that loss.
So what's interesting is that there is a website that does something similar, start.gg. The issue is start.gg is mostly for like either like a tournament or an online tournament. Like it's not necessarily for a community. But there is something similar, but yeah, it's not exactly what you're envisioning.
Yeah, and like that's the thing is like at some point someone's gonna have to eat the cost somewhere along the line, and
And
you
I
just
think
have to
that's the
understand that
issue.
that's
Nobody wants to eat the cost.
which means nobody cares enough about it, right? So sometimes it comes down to like you got to be the change you want to see in the world, and if you want to see that kind of situation develop, well, sometimes somebody's got to do it. In the same way that like Wikipedia exists because people donate because they want to see it, Like somebody had to just start making Wikipedia without knowing that they were going to be able to cover the cost. And sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to jump in with both feet and say, "Hey, I'm going to make this thing, and I'm going to make it happen. And from here on, it's going to cost me money, but I want it to be a resource that people can utilize."
Hmm.
So to me, like if I were the type who wanted to create a fighting game ecosystem, that's what I would do personally. I would create a website. I would create a method for tournament organizers to register, and I would say, hey, look, here's the master database for all Mortal Kombat tournaments of every game.
Hmm.
If you run a Mortal Kombat tournament, come to my website, register your tournament, and you can set it on recurring, whatever it is. And if you want to see what's in your area, this is the way to do it. And you can expand it to any number of other fighting games if you want, but like that's what you got to do, in my opinion. And like, fortunately, you're probably not the only person who's had this idea, and there probably are other avenues, like you said, to get some of this information. It's not like there's no way to advertise tournaments online. It's just that, again, you have to get that information out. So from there, you just have to like advertise it, I guess, the way that you normally would.
Right.
Buy a sponsorship section in a major Mortal Kombat tournament. Get some venture capital going. Like I don't know how to monetize these sorts of things. I'm just an ideas guy, not a business guy.
I
But
was just
like
the
that's what
ideas
I.
guy.
Do you guys
But
think the
yeah,
future NRS games will only be a digital download? I think that a lot of people still like physical media. So I would be shocked if they were to completely get away from physical media, like in its entirety. I think that there's something about that, like the tangible, like disc on a shelf that people quite like, that people will buy personally. So I don't know that they're going to get rid of it entirely. They might scale down on the production at some point, but that's just me. What do you think?
yeah. I was just gonna say that I Legacy Collection came out like a month late or like 2 months later, physically than it did digital, and I waited because I wanted to have a I wanted to have a physical copy. So at least I hope it never goes that way because I don't like digital media for video games.
Hmm.
But I think there's enough people that are similar to me where they wouldn't do that. Just go 100% digital.
Yeah. Like I said, what if Mortal Kombat next game, I know it won't happen, has two discs, one for main campaign and online modes, fights, and the second disc is a separate conquest mode. So the thing is with like a two disc distribution, the reason that they used to do two discs on the PlayStation is has to do with storage size, actually. Fitzroy, do you know offhand how much storage space a PlayStation 1 disc has?
No clue, but I didn't know Final Fantasy VII had those 4 discs.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 had three discs,
Three
I
discs. I
think,
think
and
it was 8 that had 4.
yeah, 8 had three, 9 had four.
Okay,
Uh,
there we go.
so I knew this number before, but I've forgotten it, so I'm going to double check it. Okay, so a standard PlayStation 1 CD-ROM holds approximately 650 megabytes to 660 megabytes of data.
That's crazy. Megabytes.
Yeah. The average PlayStation 1 game was between 300 to 600 megabytes. And that's why they used to do multi-disc distribution, or at least why Sony did, because their videos were so large they needed it, right? They needed that space. So when I see Luck West say like, "Oh hey, what if we did like a multi-disc distribution?" Like, there's probably just enough space on the game disc for it. To be honest, nowadays, one of the big things that they were really excited about when they moved from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2 was that they finally got to use DVDs as their storage media instead of CDs, because DVDs have a significantly larger capacity. That's part of the reason why PlayStation 2 games look so much better. It's just because they have a lot more space to work with. Um, so so yeah, like that. Like I think you could just put it on the same disc. Honestly, I don't know that you necessarily need to, because the thing is that you're repeating a lot of the work there. right? Because like effectively what you're doing at that point is you're just making two different games and packaging them as one. Like
Yeah.
they would probably just sell them as two separate games, would be my guess, or just put it together.
Yeah.
Um, Although, like, I definitely understand that there's a lot of people out there who have a soft spot for conquest mode. I don't know that it was as widely enjoyed as maybe some people would like it to be.
No, the fans friggin' love conquest mode. Even though I feel like if you go back and play it now, it's not that fun. But yeah, people love
But it's
conquest.
novel. It's novel.
It's novel, and I think it was just a cool way to like be in the world of MK. Like you can go and talk to characters that you. I mean, Mortal Kombat's normally a fighting game, so the fact that you could go and like talk to NPCs and whatnot, it was a novel concept.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of the Mario RPG, right?
Yeah, but Mario RPG was dope.
I mean, so is conquest mode, according to Luck was here.
You heard of a channel called Phillips Lee? They made their own fan series called MK1 Court of Chaos. It's their own continuation of MK1 story. I haven't, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, although I will say I'm a little disappointed that you spelled continuation with a C. Missed opportunity there.
Not a K.
So
That's hilarious.
honestly, the marketing writes itself, like genuinely. um, so yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I think that like ultimately NRS is a business, right? They're making video games partly for the love of the game, but also because they would very much like you to, give them money. And
100%.
when you say, "Hey, I'm going to spend," I mean, do you know offhand what the budget was for like Mortal Kombat 1?
Off the
Like
top
the
of my
new one?
head, I don't know. It's probably a lot. I don't know. I don't even know where I would look for that. But I can
Google's a good
check.
place to start.
Google is a great place to start.
Let's see. The Romans had officially disclosed exact budget. Industry speculation analysis suggests a potentially tens of millions, with rumors that it is as much as 50 million for MK11
Jeez
and a
Louise.
massive push. So right, so we're talking tens of millions of dollars, right? We don't know exactly how much, but we'll conservatively say maybe like 20 million, $30 million to make this video game. If you're pitching to the head of NRS, and you're like, hey, I have this really cool idea where we could do an RPG where the Great Kung Lao is our main character, and we can finally tell that story as like an RPG. And they're like, hey, that's really cool. How long is this going to take to make? I don't know, probably a little while. We have to, we never made an RPG before, and we have to invest the money. And they're like, cool.
Yeah, how much money? What are we talking? And then once you hear the number, it's probably like they'll buy the game anyway. They'll buy the game without it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like that's the thing. Like, will Mortal Kombat fans play a Mortal Kombat game that isn't a fighting game? I don't know. Like, I don't know what that overlap looks like.
Oh, they would. They've already shown that they would. There was a very successful game called Shaolin Monks that was like a co-op beat 'em up. It was kind of like a God of War kind of game, but it was 2-player co-op. And
Right.
And I mean, people have been waiting for a sequel for that for a very long time. I don't know. I know it's a cult favorite, but I don't know what the profit
It
was.
might not have been a commercial success though.
Maybe it wasn't a commercial success, which is probably why we haven't seen another one. But
Almost definitely. Like if it was commercially successful, they would have spit out another one pretty quickly, I imagine.
that would be my guess, that they would have made another one. Or maybe it was a commercial success. It just wasn't as big a success as they wanted it to be because of the franchise. So MK1 sold more than every current fighting game right now. Sold more than Tekken 8, sold more than Street Fighter 6, but WB pulled the cord on it and said we're not doing any more DLC because the last DLC did not sell. It didn't make what their projections were. I don't know what those projections are, but even though they outsold every other game in their category, it didn't meet the numbers that they were looking for, and that was enough to cut the budget on the game.
Yeah, and like that kind of behavior leads me to believe, one, that like the people who are making decisions don't actually care about the game very much. And like,
WWE, come on.
Yeah, right. And then like secondarily, like you're not going to be able to convince the people who said, "Hey, your DLC didn't make us enough money, even though it still made us handsomely wealthy. It didn't make enough. We're going to cut funding on it." You're not going to convince those people to take a chance on some non-fighting, like when people think Mortal Kombat, they think of a fighting game. They don't think of some pansy RPG. We don't need to hear a story. Just give them a bare bones arcade mode and a bare bones what do they call them, ranked? Yeah, sure. Let them connect online to play people. Let them play arcade. And like, if you have time to write a couple paragraphs of story, I guess you could hire an actor to speak it if you want.
Yeah, because they did the same with Injustice. Injustice sold great apparently, but it didn't make as much as a Mortal Kombat game would have. So even though when it was its turn in the cycle, because they were doing like a Mortal Kombat and Injustice, a Mortal Kombat and Injustice, they were like alternating.
Mm-hmm.
But that last Injustice didn't make as much as the previous MK, so they're like, yeah, you're doing another MK.
Exactly. So like, as cool as it would be, because I know you had just released a video not terribly long ago about telling the story of the Great Kung Lao. See, I do watch your content,
Thank you.
and how people don't actually want that. And I don't know, like if the concern is the roster, then maybe it's a good idea for them to explore other avenues to tell that story and to subvert that story. Because if I recall correctly, I think the only way that we know that story exists is through like a secondhand telling of somebody else telling us about it.
Yes.
Obviously, we didn't experience it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, when you have somebody else, because this happens in Dungeons and Dragons, right? When you have somebody else telling you the story, you can introduce a level of bias that the audience might not know, right? So in the case of the original Midway game, I think it's Raiden, right, or the narrator who's telling us of like the Great Kung Lao and his history, right?
Okay.
His lost to Goro.
Yeah, yeah, you could say so.
Yeah, I'm not sure like exactly, because it's been a long time since I played the OG Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall offhand like who's like doing the narration there? Is it like, is it just like text on the page?
It's told through the story of a couple different people, so through Kung Lao and Raiden.
So I get the idea that like we could have a situation where the narrator is unreliable in some respect. And so there definitely is parts of that story that we might not know or might have been conveniently left out, right? That maybe paint the whole situation in a different light. And you could definitely do a lot with that. But maybe a fighting game isn't the best way to tell that story. Maybe other ways are, right? Maybe they could, actually, I don't know, maybe they could do it as like I said, like as an RPG or an action RPG. Might be a cool way to go about doing things, right? An action RPG sequel to Shaolin Monks, only you're playing as the Great Kung Lao and like his buddy, who is not the Great Kung Lao.
The regular Kung Lao.
And like it's the not Great Kung Lao and the Great Kung Lao. Or it's like Raiden and Kung Lao are fighting together in a beat 'em up style game, and that's how you tell the story. And you don't need to have all of the like your recurring characters show back up because it's not a fighting game. Also, who were the 8 other fighters after the Great Kung Lao?
Wait, what? It's also like, what's going on in the chat here? I see support saying people would still complain if they did get a Great Kung Lao game. I agree. I would be for the RPG Great Kung Lao, but I also would be down if the RPG element included a conquest style mode. I mean, that would be ideal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It was told through Raiden more specifically. Yeah. I mean, Raiden and Kung Lao. Also, who were the
Yeah, it's
8
like
other fighters after Great Kung Lao? Oh, jabronis that got beat. That's who.
real fucking jobbers, right?
Right.
Um, but like that's the thing, you could turn that into a whole series, right? Like if you really wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
if the game sells well. But like that's the thing, if we're telling, so if Luckwest here is correct and this story is told through Raiden more specifically than anybody else, Raiden has a vested interest in not telling the whole story because he really wants to motivate Kung Lao, the actual like the current Kung Lao, as well as the other members of Earthrealm to like fight valiantly and stuff. Um, Maybe the Great Kung Lao was a real rat bastard, right? Like we don't know. Maybe he was basically like fucking Shinnok or something. Like he's just awful person. Just or
That was convinced to fight. I mean, Kung Lao would also not be a reliable narrator either because it's his ancestor that he idolized.
reveres.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's not gonna
So
be
like,
yeah, he cheated on his wife and he was actually a real prick. Like, all that's gonna be
yeah,
left out.
yeah. Like the reason that Goro killed him is because he actually like slept with Goro's wife.
Goro was motivated.
I mean, there are very few things that can stop a motivated Goro, just to let you know.
I agree.
So, like there's a lot of room to tell that story. If we allow ourselves to look outside of RPGs as like the method to tell that story. Obviously we all know that we love, our live action Mortal Kombat franchise, right? Our live action Mortal Kombat stories. Maybe that's how we tell that story. But I think like if we're looking at video games, we have RPGs, we have puzzle games. Hell, they can make it a roguelike. You never know. Maybe create a mobile game with microtransactions. Big corporate people love that. Could you imagine?
People love that. I think they do have an MK Mobile. I have to admit I've never played it. But why not? Yeah, they could do Great Kung Lao through something like that.
Yeah, Great Kung Lao MK Puzzle Quest. Every day you got 5 free tries, then you can buy more gems in the shop. Got to do all those puzzles to figure out how the full story.
It's ridiculous how successful those kind of games are.
I'm just saying, NRS is doing too much. They're working too hard.
They're working. Oh man.
We don't know the Great Kung Lao's powers, but all we know is he dressed similar to Liu Kang. Like, if there's anything we can just speculate about as good as Liu Kang at some point.
Wait, what? If anything, we can just speculate. Yeah. I mean, he's got to be pretty damn good if he beat Shang Tsung. But yeah, we don't really know anything about him unless you consider Mortal Kombat Conquest as canon. I don't think it would be. There's too many loopholes, but in Conquest, he didn't have any special powers. He was just like a guy that punched and kicked.
I'm saying, like, sometimes power of hands is just good enough.
Straight hands. You know what? You're damn right.
I mean, honestly, that was Liu Kang's power for a long time.
Yeah, just hands. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever actually see something Great Kung Lao.
I don't think so. 'Cause I think that WB has kind of locked NRS into this spiral of making more Mortal Kombat games.
And really, I really feel like it's the fans' fault because the fans go crazy whenever. So, for example, in Mortal Kombat 3, for storyline purposes, they left Scorpion out, and you would think you killed someone's mom. That they dared to leave Scorpion out of a game. So I feel like there are certain characters that just always have to be there, and it has to make sense that they're there. So they're kind of locked in. Like the success of the character, oddly enough, pigeonholes them.
Yeah, it's like a noose around their neck. And that's the thing, is that like this is a story with time travel and multiple universes. There's no reason we can't still use these characters,
That's a good point. You could just time travel Kung Lao, I guess.
We could time travel Kung Lao. We could time travel everyone else, right? Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
like there's no reason we can't have both Kung Lao and his ancestor. Maybe he meets his ancestor, and then we get to see a story of him being like very disillusioned because he's just not the person he thought he was.
Which would be a cool area to explore.
Subversion.
Yeah.
It'd be a cool subversion, right? Like you have this mental image of my great ancestor who fought valiantly in the Mortal Kombat. Turns out he's just a super dirty fighter. You want to know how he beat Shang Tsung?
He
fucking pocket sand.
He poked him in the eye.
Pocket sand and like a poison knife.
That's hilarious.
Good enough. But like that's
Legendary.
the thing. Like we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Legendary cheater.
Straight
And like
up
that would be really
evil.
fun because
Let me see those Exodia pieces.
I'm saying like we don't know, right? Like maybe he was a super rat bastard, and maybe like Raiden was cool with it at the time because hey, anything to defend Earthrealm, right? Like
Right,
if it
we
works,
won.
it works.
I'm cool with it.
And that would be a really cool like clash because Kung Lao has such a stick up his ass. So it'd be great. That'd be a really cool thing. And again, like time travel is an established thing that exists already. Multiverse is already a thing that exists. So it wouldn't take that much storyline wise to like make it make sense.
Yeah, that's
I've
actually
seen
a really good point.
stories handled. I've seen shit. I barely know anything about Mortal Kombat 1, and I know for a fact that they did not handle the time travel storyline especially well. So given that that's their bar, I'm sure they could figure it out.
Yeah. That's their bar. Or they could have reinvented the great Kung Lao story through modern Kung Lao and Liu Kang's new era. He was literally seeking recognition and hated being a farmer. Yeah, but that would make Kung Lao the main character, and NRS will never do that.
No.
Pocket sand. Hell yeah.
I can't see.
Flawless victory. Yeah.
Also, just think how dirty of a moveset that would be if he just has like groin kicks and shit.
Hell yeah. He basically fights like Kano, where he'll like spit in your eye and.
Yeah, except Kano has Riz and this guy doesn't need to.
Yeah, indeed. He has the reputation.
Exactly. And then Kano gets to be indignant because he fights dirty and everybody hates him, but this guy fights dirty and he becomes the great.
Yes. The injustice. I mean, stranger things have happened.
That's true. Although I do think that series just ended, so maybe not the collaboration we were looking for.
There. Very nice. Well played.
Yeah, like I said, I've really been trying to up my dad joke game over the years. I need to make sure that I can like maximally embarrass my children once they're old enough to have a concept of self.
I mean, that is your job, essentially.
Yeah, like other than my actual job. This is just, I would consider this a hobby, really. Just embarrassing my kids.
Okay.
Divine mandate, maybe. I've also heard it referred to as that.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that that's something that must happen.
I once said, what if a great Kung Lao doesn't nut punch like Johnny because, well, it's a legal fight technique.
Hell yeah.
Plot twist, maybe the great Kung Lao cheated to win and Shang Tsung took the fall and got cursed by the Elder Gods. Honestly, I'd be down for it.
Man, I think the way people
Shang is just bitter.
The way people react in a lot of my polls, I feel like that story would be amazing and people would hate it. I just feel like honestly, I feel like NRS is trying too hard. They should if they just retold the original stories exactly the way they were, I feel like no one would complain, or almost no one would complain, and it would be considered peak, quote unquote peak.
But that's so creatively bankrupt.
It is. It is. But whenever I feel like whenever they try something new or try something interesting, it it gets a wall of complaints.
But that's the thing, right? Is like I would rather have the game company of the like that makes a franchise that I like. I would rather them take a chance and fail at something than never take a chance at all and just
Oh,
give me the same thing every time.
I 100%
Like
agree.
that would be boring. Like I know that a lot. This is the thing. Like a lot of people, just to how you claimed that a lot of people want the Great Kung Lao story, but they really don't. A lot of people claim that they want just like a remake of the original game or something, but they don't. Like the thing is that like people don't know what they want. They don't know until they
Oh,
have it because
that's
you know
100% sure. Yep, that's true.
you look at all the Mortal Kombat games, right? And it's like if you like every time there's a new game and there's a new mechanic or new way that the game plays, there's always going to be people that really love it at first and then hate it, and then they move on to the next game and then they say, "Oh, that last game was so much better." Right?
Yep.
Every single time a new Mortal Kombat comes out because they don't know what they like until they have something else. So, you know, I think that it's good that NRS is still willing to iterate on the main formula as often and frequently as they are. Because if they don't and they just keep doing the same thing over and over, well, then that will kill the franchise a lot faster.
I agree.
Here, they get to practice different things, to try out different mechanics in the game, and the stuff that they really that people like, they keep it in the game. They stick with it. Stuff that they don't, or that didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to, they get rid of. They try something else. Here, it looks like, with the cameos, they really want to try and expand the roster without actually expanding the roster because that's a lot of extra work, right? Um, I get the feeling that cameos are like mostly positively received. That makes me optimistic that we will see them again in the future. Um,
Actually, the exact opposite. There
okay,
are people.
great.
Yeah, are you trolling me?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not hooked into the.
Oh, people hate the cameos. Absolutely hate them.
Now, is that mechanically or just like they would prefer to have access to play the character directly?
The latter, because when you like,
Yeah,
I've had many a back and forth where I'm like, they're just variations that everyone can use, and it's just, um, it's just like giving your character an extra move, and the rebuttal is normally just do a tag team mode or don't give me the extra move essentially. Like the actual idea of having the sprite next to the main character doing something else is just too much for them.
interesting.
Yeah, if there's
Dumb,
another
but
character there,
interesting.
then it should just be like a tag fighter, or we want it to be one on one. And that's not everybody, but that is a large portion of the fan base.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? They tried it. you know, I think on
Yeah,
its face, it seems like an interesting and good idea. Where like, hey, how can we like pay homage and get all these extra characters in without needing to turn them all into fighters? And the counterpoint is like, if you don't like that, well, then we're just gonna have to go back to having to sticking to our small roster, and accept that if you're a really big fan of random character that makes it in as a cameo but doesn't make it in the main roster, that it's just gonna be a few games before you see them again, if at all.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Lucas, what's going on, Lucas? Your polls actually got me here. That's how I discover your channel. Really?
Hell yeah,
Interesting.
that's what we like to see. That engagement. Hashtag engagement.
Hashtag engagement. Yeah, I feel like polls are at least they help my channel a lot. I would say. I think it's kind of a hack.
I think in general, just having community posts, broadly speaking, on a regular basis and regular cadence is good
Yeah.
because it keeps the channel in front of people. Like a lot of times when it comes to YouTube, if you like, you're kind of beholden to the algorithm, right? If you stop posting, people forget about you,
Hmm.
right? Um, like, uh, looks like SG is saying you missed something he said.
I missed what he said.
Uh,
Um. Yeah. Also, another thing is, hold on. Let me. What did? And Shang got blamed. Is that what you're talking about? Shang Tsung became a
I think he's
traitor.
saying, what if the real story of the great Kung Lao and Shang Tsung grew up together as friends like Liu Kang and modern Lao, and Shang Tsung was champion, but great Kung Lao stole the title by cheating? Would be funny. And Shang got blamed. Shang
Oh, I
became a
see.
traitor because
And then,
nobody believed he was telling the truth. Yeah, that would be funny. That would be
like the
pretty funny.
origin story to him being a bad guy. But yeah,
I don't know if
what
we
I
want to do that.
to humanize
But
Shang
carry on.
Tsung.
Like, I don't know, some of the characters in MK are just like cartoonishly evil. I don't know if we need to like
Give them
justify every.
layers.
Yeah, sometimes it's good. Like, I just think that like a lot of stories nowadays are obsessed with making their like morally gray villains, and like I think that
Oh, I see what you
sometimes
mean.
it's good to have someone who's just like like cartoonishly evil. I think that's okay. Because guess what? We have cartoonishly evil people in real life.
Yes.
They actually exist. Which means,
Really.
guess what? Your bad guys in your writing don't need to have fucking nuance. Sometimes they're just unambiguously bad.
Sometimes they're just evil. Sometimes someone can just, and I feel like they've been doing that a lot with like Disney characters like Maleficent and
Everyone does
Cruella, and
it. It's so in vogue. It's
yeah,
so
it's
like
like
in.
let's make the villain actually misunderstood and deep, when really the bad guy can just be a bad guy.
Absolutely. Like, you want to humanize them? Sure. Have Zed and Rita marry. Like, that's all we need for humanizing.
Have them dance every couple of episodes.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, I miss when the Green Ranger could just show up, throw hands, wreck the entire squad, and then, like, everyone just has to deal with it from then on.
Man, Green with Evil. Oh man, that 5-part series was beautiful. Wait, would you put the question? Would you have Chameleon or what? Komodai
Komodai?
as a new Zetarian fighter? What or who is Komodai? Anyway,
Can we all agree not have villains be humanized, sympathetic? I think it's okay. It depends on the story. I just don't think Shang Tsung is a character who needs to be humanized any
yeah,
more than
he
he
can
is.
just be evil. He's just greedy and evil. Like that's fine.
Yeah, like Starscream.
Like Starscream.
Shang Tsung is the MK Starscream. I stand by it.
Yeah, indeed. But
So,
because I know some people here have their own channels, what I found out is that, or what it seems like to me, is that posts have their own algorithm, a completely different algorithm than videos do,
mhm.
and so do shorts. So, like for example, I feel like I have two separate. Actually, I feel like I have maybe three separate communities. One that watches all my videos, one that just does my post, and one that just does like my live streams. And very
Yeah.
few actually cross in between, but there's definitely people who are exclusive to those three things. So you'll get some crossover, but if you're looking for a new audience, that might be something you want to do, is try doing posts and then try doing shorts.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, you are getting, like, people consume your channel in different ways. So, like, there are definitely YouTube channels that I am subscribed to, specifically because I like their shorts content, not because I watch any of their long form videos.
Right.
Um, I will say that, like, the community posts are kind of awkward sometimes because occasionally I'll see stuff come up that like was clearly meant to be a timely post, but I didn't see it until like days after it was intended to be seen.
Mm.
Weirdly enough, so like I don't think that the community channel, like the community tab, is like the best way for reaching new people or even people who are subscribed to you already with like timely information. Weirdly enough, because like I can't tell you how many times I've seen like a thing that's like, oh, I'm live, come check me out. We're going to be doing a 24-hour stream to support X charity here and here, and it's dated for like 2 days ago.
I mean,
I'm like,
I
thanks,
really think
YouTube.
that's due to your algorithm, because I feel like so I schedule my posts and they go up every day 12 p.m. my time. and I will get a notification 12:02, and there's like a lot of the times it's the same like 7 or 8 people that
Yeah,
get it
because they
like
engage with it every time.
that minute. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and that's the thing. Like, if you engage with it, it's going to show back up
it's going to
over and
show up
over.
for you again, right?
You know, um, it's just a matter of like. I guess what I was trying to get at is that, like, absolutely, I believe that you have three like semi-separate communities depending on your content,
Yeah.
because like some people will consume that content. Some people probably just find the questions that you ask, you know, interesting enough that they want to engage with it, and that might not necessarily translate to them wanting to then watch your YouTube
There's
videos
a lot of
or
people
to
like
check
that.
your live stream.
There's a lot.
Yeah, where it's
More
like,
than
hey, I
I.
really love your MK questions, and you're like, that's great. Could you watch any of my videos? Like, no, why would I do
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and they're like, no, not so much.
Yeah, I don't want to hear your opinion. I want to use this as an opportunity to voice my
My
opinion.
opinion, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Would you consider yourself street tier level Mortal Kombat level? Like as far
What's
as
that
how
even
good I
mean?
am, I guess so. Probably lower than street tier, if that's what you're getting at.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Kind of like this, like the street level superheroes where they don't really save the world, but they just like save the neighborhood.
Or does it mean that you could just like beat a random person on the street in the game?
My days of beating people on the street have come and gone. I hate retcons like
Pause.
none other. Yeah, well, I mean, depending on the
I'm
retcon,
lukewarm.
I'm okay with them.
It depends. Yeah, I think it depends on the retcon.
It
Like
depends on the retcon.
sometimes it. I guess it depends how major it was or important it was to like a particular character story.
Yeah.
Right. My issue is that I don't post much like I used because I get burned out easily and take months off. Plus, you don't want to feel pressured to upload at certain times. So I think that I've followed a lot of different YouTube channels over the years, and broadly speaking, the mantra is always like post regularly, post often, post consistently. But obviously, that isn't sustainable for every person. The people who I know that post irregularly are posting like super and are like still successful are posting super high quality videos or super well researched videos.
Mm.
The people that I think of off the top of my head are like CGP Grey, H Bomber Guy, Spice 8 Rack. Like those are people who produce maybe like 1 to 2 videos every like 9 to 12 months.
But then it blows
Wait,
up when they post it.
yeah, but every video
It's
they
like a
post is like
super high quality. Yeah.
exactly. Like and you know, obviously those people are doing like kind of different kinds of content, right? But if we take like a look at like H Bomber Guy's last video, um let me take a look here. He did oh, it was 2 years ago now because it was 2024 is when he posted it, but it was his nearly 4 hour video on plagiarism in YouTube, right? Before that, the year prior, he did a 2 hour video on Roblox, right? And then like that same year, he did a 3.5 hour video on Deus Ex Human Revolution. So, you know, that guy's doing like pretty in-depth long form content. You know, those I think are the kind of people who can have like an irregular posting schedule. You look at like CGP Grey, for instance, and his videos are not as long, but they are still pretty irregular. However, the presentation clearly takes a bit of time. They're usually like semi-animated. They're usually very well researched, right? And like if you look at his channel, his last video was 9 months ago. It was about runaway numbers, 20 minutes long. Before that, he did 3 years ago now. He did a video on airport codes, right? Like explaining the different names of different airports and how those codes work out. In addition to a video on like runway numbering and such. So like he does very well researched videos, even though they always clock in between like 15, like between like 10 minutes to 15 minutes, give or take. Most of his videos are under 10 minutes, um, for the most part. So the content doesn't necessarily have to correlate to the amount of time, like to the amount of to like your posting frequency, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You can make short videos and release them at an irregular cadence, But I think your audience needs to feel like like the wait is worth it, the juice is worth the squeeze. If you're spending, 5 months making a video and it's, I mean, we can be honest, right? It's just kind of like a thrown together thing, or it's a thing you may have worked really hard on, but maybe isn't especially well researched or isn't covering a particularly interesting topic. Like, yeah, people are not going to want to keep coming back to it. But if you release a video and people really enjoyed it and it's, well researched, they will come back to you when they have time. But the algorithm might not always be as kind to you in that respect. Gray gets away with it because, he obviously has nearly 7 million subscribers already. So even if YouTube's only pushing a portion of those videos, um, he's still going to have 3 million views on average or something. Um, the other thing too is that the way the YouTube algorithm works, right now, anyways, is that the when you post a new video, it'll push it to a subset of your subscribers, and depending on the click-through rate of the subscribers who see that video, will then determine whether or not it pushes them to the rest of your subscribers, which will then determine if it pushes it to people outside of your subscribers. So if you're making a new video and it's something that you're not usually doing, so for instance, in your case, Shinfitz, you've pivoted a few different times to different topics. Well, every time you did that, it probably tanked your click-through rate because before you were doing videos on Yu-Gi-Oh, and then you started doing videos on like random locals. And when you make that change over, the people who are following your channel for your Yu-Gi-Oh content and your TCG content are not necessarily going to be the same number of people interested in it for its video game content. Likewise, now you are largely transforming into a Mortal Kombat channel, at least in part. If you were to turn around and make a video on like some news about Tekken, I would be willing to bet dollars to donuts that a lot of your Mortal Kombat players who are following your channel for Mortal Kombat content are probably not going to click on that video, or if they do, it won't be as quickly. And so that'll hurt your outreach, which thereby disincentivizes you from trying those new things. And because you don't have like a Patreon or anything like that to kind of cushion that, cushion your support there, it makes it difficult for channels like your own to take chances on new and different ideas because if you're relying on it for income, then obviously that becomes a problem. Obviously, you're doing this more as a hobby at this point. You're not like generating a huge amount of income from your channel, but for people who have aspirations to make their channel into something where it does become an income, obviously it's a lot more critical for them to kind of build that initial audience in the first place. And sometimes you can do that from a really viral video if you really like, hit when right when the timing is right. But if you don't have that, then consistency is one of the better ways to do it, at least according to, most common knowledge.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just talked for like 15 minutes straight. I'm sorry.
And I feel if you can't be like, I feel like perhaps things like posts can be a way that you can bridge that gap. Like maybe if you can't really be as consistent as you want to be with videos, you can bridge the gap with posts and stuff. And then it's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And like the thing is, I do follow like reaction channels, right? And that can be really tough to do if you're like a relatively small reaction channel and you're doing all the watching and editing yourself. And like, yeah, a lot of people will call it like low quality content, but I try not to watch low quality content. So these people are putting actual effort into their conversations about what they're watching and what they're consuming. And so I was watching a channel where they stopped posting for several months, and they were using their community channel to let people know, like, hey, like one of us is having a medical thing that we've been going through, and like we're not going to be able to post videos for a little while. And they came back, and initially their videos were not as heavily watched as they initially were, but after a little bit of time, they did get back to where they were at prior to that break. It's just that YouTube as a platform really disincentivizes people from taking breaks. And I think that it is the exception, not the rule, that, channels can post irregular content. Because the funny thing is that even if there's a channel that, like, for personally, anecdotally, right, even if there's people who you really enjoy their video, there's so many different YouTube channels out there, it can be really easy to just forget, right? And then they post a new video, you're like, oh yeah, I remember. I really like this guy's video on X, Y, and Z. Or you see a video show up in your feed and you're like, when did I subscribe to this person? Straight up. And you like look at their history, and it's like YouTube didn't even push you the last 7 of their videos. It's not they weren't even making them; they just didn't push them to you. And you're looking through, and you're like, oh, I think I watched a video on that they made on like Mortal Kombat at some point, but like their next 7 videos were like about something else entirely, and so I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll unsubscribe now.
I
You
guess
know, like
I guess I'll
that's just how
unsubscribe
it
now.
goes.
But,
You know,
but
that's just how it goes.
the Lucas mentioned something about AI lore videos, like AI
YouTube
slop,
slop
and
videos.
I feel like that's a way that some people have been using to pump out a lot of content, but like it just naturally repels me. Like as soon as I hear that AI voice, I'm like, okay, I don't want to.
Yeah, you just gotta click off it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's just yeah. And you know what's funny too is like I recently started watching like debunking videos, right? I think Milo Rossi from Mini Minuteman does videos where he like debunks pseudo archaeology videos.
Hmm.
And like those are really gratifying because of that. And there was another channel I watched not terribly long ago. I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was talking about um it was talking about like a slightly political topic, so I won't get into the specifics, but the idea was that it was talking about how some people don't want like actual research. They want the illusion of research in what they're
Mm.
watching.
And they just want to
And
stay in their
so,
echo chamber.
not even. It's that so, um, I know you try and keep this channel apolitical, so I'm trying not to like use the specific example. But it's like sometimes you watch like a pseudo archaeology video or something. I'm going to change the topic a little bit, but like sometimes you watch like a pseudo archaeology video, and the person who's talking is talking authoritatively, like, oh, isn't it kind of weird that when you look at at this evidence here, and okay, like Lovelock Cave is a video I just watched today. And Lovelock Cave is in Nevada, and they claim that like they found evidence of like giants living in the cave that were cannibals and redheads, and they were killed by the Native Americans, and there's an oral history about it, and
Hmm.
all of it's bollocks, right?
Hmm.
It's all bullshit. But the thing is that they want to present it as though it's well researched. So they say, well, according to the Native American, oral history keeper who published this book called this, this, and this, they said that they found giants in the cave, and back when the Native Americans were around, they burned the woods in front of the cave and flushed them out and then killed them with arrows. But the thing is that none of that is true. Yes, there is a book written by a Native American woman, and like it's important because this is the first Native American woman who's like published a book on their own history. That is itself interesting. But they didn't read the book because nowhere in the book does she say that they were giants. Nowhere in the book does she say that they like burned the cave down, like or that they killed them with arrows. This is all just information that they're repeating, but because they're citing a source, it makes it look like it's has like a an illusion of legitimacy, right?
Hmm.
So like I think of those like AI slop videos where someone's just plugging facts into ChatGPT and asking it to spit out a YouTube script. ChatGPT does the exact same thing because it's just a
Yeah.
large language model. It's
Yeah.
not Google. It doesn't it fabricates facts all the time because its job, what it's designed to do, is not to present accurate information. It's not fucking computer from Star Trek. It's not Cortana. It's not your Jeeves or whatever in your Iron Man suit. It is programmed to present you a block of text that reads like a block of text,
Yeah.
right?
Pretty
That
much.
reads as like accurate as it can, right? It's just there to mimic language. So people will ask it questions and have it spit out a script, and it can create the illusion of like something that's well researched. But the minute that you start doing any digging, you realize, oh, actually, this isn't really a thing at all. This is just a load of nonsense.
Yeah. It's just a
Um,
wall of text.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
one thing I want to kind of touch on before we wrap this up is Secret, or rather Support, said something about. I remember a while back, Bradford came to my channel and harassed me and insulted me for not posting anything in months, and it kills my self-esteem. I feel like that's just an unfortunate thing of anything that can be criticized. Essentially, if you create anything, there's going to be people who criticize you, and I don't know.
You got to do it for you.
Yeah,
like you got to create for you.
Ultimately,
Like
if someone
it
doesn't
sucks.
like what you're doing, like you just have to. If there's
Ignore it.
enough joy in it for you to do it, then you should do it, and not worry
Yeah,
about
like
what someone else says.
I strongly agree. Because like when I think to like the content that I create, it's like I'm not doing it for anybody. I'm not doing it for for the audience. Of course, like if there is an audience of people who want to hear what I have to say, I'm really happy to oblige, right? Um but like when I'm sitting down recording my podcast, I'm not doing that because I care about what the audience thinks. I'm recording that podcast because I genuinely enjoy talking to my friends about stuff that I find interesting and about stuff that they find interesting, right? So like Support, when you say like, oh, this dude's like harassing my shit and it demotivates me, I totally understand because there are haters out there who have nothing better going on with their day to day, and they just want to they want to be that person who ruins your day, ruins your life, right? But the thing is that we can't let those people do that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, if you have a dream of becoming a successful YouTube content creator, or even if that's not your dream, maybe it's just something you hope happens at some point, but you're willing to put in the work and energy and time to make it happen. That's great, but you have to understand that for every two people that like your video, there's going to be a Bradford out there who would like nothing more than to watch you fail. But the thing is that yeah, like that's just how it is, right? Like not everyone's going to like you.
Yep.
In fact, I would wager that there's a lot of people out there who just don't like you. You might not even know it, right? Some people just don't fuck with you. Just how there's some people who don't fuck with me. There's some people who don't fuck with Fitz, despite his vibes being immaculate. Can vouch.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know where I read I think I read something saying that 2% of people, and this is probably complete BS, but I took it to heart that 2% of people just won't like you, not for anything you said, not for anything you did or didn't do. They just won't like you. And if you understand that when you run into that person who doesn't like you, it's just like you can't say the right thing to Bradford to get him to like you. You just, there's nothing you can do. So you might as well just not let it. And it's harder said than done, but you can't let it bother you.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, he's just not worth engaging with. Just on its face, I've yet to see anything come out of any of his posts that resembles anything resembling a coherent thought. So, honestly, I would just ignore it. I'm shocked that you haven't completely banned him from the channel. Genuinely,
Yeah, I think
at this point,
I should go ahead and do that. Actually,
you have way more patience than I do. I would have banned him 5 weeks ago. So that's just me personally, but that's your choice. But as far as your concerned Support, yeah, sometimes people are just gonna say shit. In my opinion, I wouldn't concern yourself with it at all, because when you post that video, his one opinion doesn't matter. What matters is the people who do want to watch it.
Yep.
So find the people who want to watch it. Find the people who care, right? If Shinfitz let every naysayer stop him from streaming, he wouldn't be having a conversation with me right now and hanging out with the wonderful people in chat right now, right? We wouldn't have our wonderful Lucas K, who has said some very kind things in chat about me, which I do appreciate. Yes, I also think I'm handsome. The actual Shao Kahn has transcended reality and joined your chat.
That. How dare you? The actual Shao Kahn? Don't lie to that man.
I mean, I have yet to see any evidence to the contrary.
How dare
and
you?
I think that the look, the man says he's Shao Kahn. I think that the responsibility of providing counter evidence is on you to prove that he's not. We
This
got
isn't a
support
court of
here. We
law.
got,
There's no judge.
I mean, there may not be a judge, but I'm low key judging. All right.
Oh, okay.
We had Secret in here, and he occasionally posts some cool things too. But most of which are just. Sometimes I wonder if Secret is just like feeding his posts through ChatGPT to generate random strings of Dragon Ball Z related words. But that aside, he seems like a pretty nice kid. So, if you let every naysayer stop you from objection, stop you from streaming, like, you wouldn't be where you're at, right? And
Right.
every time that you've pivoted content, like, yeah, is that ill-advisable? Like, yeah, and like technically,
Oh yeah,
right? But
it killed my channel, but
yeah, twice over. But like, it did you had to do what you have to do, right?
Right.
You weren't playing Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. You didn't feel like making Yu-Gi-Oh videos anymore. What do? Do you just muscle through that until some indeterminate point? Like, what happens if you make it big and now you're stuck making fucking Yu-Gi-Oh videos when you haven't enjoyed the game in 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, you gotta kind of do what you want to do. I mean, of course, if you want to be successful, you follow the steps or the pathway to success. But at the same time, I think there's a balance there where you can't just do what's successful because it's the topic that you think will be successful, because then you'll eventually hate it. And I don't think you can ever. I don't think you'll really go far doing something that you just absolutely hate.
Yeah, strongly agree. Like, there was a period of time where I was streaming on a regular basis, and like, even though I really did enjoy the streaming, unfortunately, like, I only have limited time, and I have to be very conscientious of how I spend that time and who I spend it with. So, you're always saying that, time is your most valuable resource, and I absolutely agree. That is 100% true. So it's up to us as creators to decide how we want to allocate that time. So, do you want to spend your time working on a YouTube video and use that as your creative outlet and to share your ideas? Then yeah, do that. That's a great way to spend your time. Even if, 5 people are going to watch it, in 5 months. That's still a good way to spend your time, creatively at least. But you got to do that because that's how you want to creatively express yourself, not because you want to turn that into a... Like, I don't think anybody who like gets big on the platform does it starting out to want to become successful on the platform, other than perhaps Mr. Beast, who I think explicitly wanted to become big on the platform and was willing to do whatever it took to get there.
Yeah,
and boy, did he.
Playing. Yeah.
But everybody else, for the most part, is making videos for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Not because of the love of the very minimal residual check or those Patreon monies they may or may not be getting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess kind of a rambling response, but the short version support is just like, don't let the opinions of lesser men weigh you down.
Indeed. And with that, I think we're gonna call it a night. I'm an old man, people. But this was cool. Banning Brantford don't matter, because he'll just make a new account. I've banned him on my channel multiple times. Secret has done it too, and he keeps coming back. Yeah, this man has no life, clearly.
Hey, that's totally fine. I guess in the meantime we can Google how to IP ban somebody, and
yeah, I'll figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, like, just keep banning him the minute that you realize who it is. There's no reason that you need to like spend more than a second thought on it. If he wants to spend his time, going through the effort of making a new YouTube account every time he wants to bother you, that's fine. Let him. Just ban him.
Just ban him again. Yeah.
Like literally, once you've made the decision that you don't want to have this person interact with you, like, you no longer need to let them do it. And that's just how it's gonna be.
I feel basic for watching True Underdog, Ketchup and Mustard, and Sonic. Don't feel basic for liking what you like. I mean, Shao Kahn. This was so fun. Oh, Luck West, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Ketchup and mustard are great. I like ketchup and mustard. They're cool. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna call it. What happened?
And mustard I'll use as an ingredient in recipes. But I'm a little bit more chef oriented than you are. So.
Oh, how dare you!
You make it sound like you're like some master chef.
Listen,
Shut the hell up.
Listen. I have a couple dishes that I am a master of. Okay.
I bet. And do they all fit in Tupperwares?
Hey, listen. Don't hate on Tupperware. It keeps your food fresh.
This guy's like, yeah, I know how to meal prep some sandwiches.
I do, to be honest, I do meal prep like a boss.
I know you do. That's why I'm busting your balls about it.
But listen, before we go, where can people find you, Vlad, if they want to see more of you? Or hear more of you, I should say.
So if you want to hear more of my opinions about all sorts of stuff, I do have a podcast called Talking as a Free Action. We've been on a little bit of hiatus because my co-host, who does the bulk of the editing, has been going through some stuff. But we have some stuff recorded in the backlog that will be making its way up live eventually in the next 5 weeks-ish. But yeah, you can check us out on there. We're on Spotify, Apple, on iTunes, Spotify, etc. You can find us there. I've been doing that podcast for 5 years now, or something like that. So we have like a healthy backlog. If you want to hear me chat up with my buddy, we primarily talk about D&D, but we also like just kind of drift to topic because that's just how it is. We occasionally have guests, be them our friends or other people in the TTRPG space, which is always really fun. Other than that, you can find me on social media. I am at Vlad Weaver on basically every platform that I'm on. So, if you want to find me there, thanks, Lucas. I really appreciate that. I don't post a ton on Twitter /X all that much, although I am there. So if you post, I will see it. I try not to make too many posts on there, at least not too frequently anyway. But you can find me there as well. Likewise, the show has its own Twitter, which we check periodically. It's at TIAFA podcast, which is a little bit of a mouthful. But yeah, other than that, that's basically where you can find us. Oh, we're on Instagram too, but the co-host runs that one, not me.
I have a link. I think you guys have like a link tree. I'll just put the link tree link in the description of this video, this live. Yeah,
that sounds good. Yeah, I appreciate you guys being really welcome. Usually I'm lurking in chat at some point anyways. It's a lot easier to be like snappy with the like jokes and replies and such when I'm like in the call, because like sometimes you're like in the middle of a fight and I have like a really good zinger to go with it, but you don't see it until like 5 minutes later.
The fight is over.
Huh?
Yeah, indeed.
That's why I miss that in-person fighting, man, because like you get clipped.
Exactly.
I'm watching you get your ass kicked, and I'm like, yo, bro, like, how active is that punch? Like, active enough to catch you in your shit. Learn to block.
I do remember a couple of backseat playing from you at Tommy's.
Absolutely. So yes, it's way funnier knowing that I have no idea how to play Mortal Kombat, that I can, like, sit here and just trash talk you the whole time. It's truly the highlight of my night.
I remember that reminds me back in the day when I was trying to learn Budokai 3, and that was not a good time for me.
Fair and balanced gameplay, that is.
Fair and balanced. If you're a Trunks main, do not play Budokai 3.
If you're a Trunks main, don't play any fighting game for Dragon Ball, period. They have not given Trunks his flowers.
Hey, he's not bad in fighters. He's not that bad. He's mid-tier, maybe.
Not that. He is solidly mid-tier.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. He's not bad. He's alright. All right, you guys. Yeah, okay. I said I was gonna wrap it up a couple of times now. I'm for real gonna wrap it up now. Thank you, everyone. Support Lucas, Luck West, Secret if you're still there, Reiko, aka Shao Kahn, thank you, and of course thank you, Vlad. I appreciate you hanging out and chatting with me this evening.
Yeah, for sure. We'll catch up another time.
Indeed. All right, you guys have a great day. great day. Have a great night. And don't get beat up out there. Peace.
And don't forget, time is the most valuable resource. Thank you for sharing it with us. Bye.
Thank you.